And what's going on, everybody? And welcome to another edition of the Football Friday Show with your guy, NYG Jeffy T85 here, where we're going to talk about all the happenings around the NFL, obviously around the New York Giants, obviously what's going to be happening as we are officially at Championship Weekend, Championship Friday. I messed that one up. Championship Friday here we're going to have the San Francisco 49ers traveling down to Philadelphia to take on the Philadelphia Eagles. And we will also have the Cincinnati Bengals in a rematch of last year's AFC Championship game traveling down to Kansas City to take on the Kansas City Chiefs in what should be a very, very interesting and exciting game overall. What's going on, Jers? Thank you so much for coming by the stream, bro. First, I'm going to start with the Giants news. Now, obviously, we all know what happened. The Giants pretty much got destroyed last Saturday in their game against the Philadelphia Eagles by the final score of 38-7. It was pretty much as ugly as you could expect all over the place. Giants didn't play well. I'm glad to hear you're doing well, bro. I hope you're enjoying your Friday as well. Thank you really for coming by the live stream. The Giants did not play well at all in every single facet of the game. Defensively, they couldn't tackle. Defensively, they were missing assignments. They were getting run up the middle. The Philadelphia Eagles didn't even need to pass the ball that much. In terms of the Giants' offense, they couldn't get anything going in the running game. The passing game was pretty much non-existent throughout the whole time. The Philadelphia Eagles dominated in the trenches on the offensive and defensive lines going forward in this football game. And by no surprise, the Giants got absolutely torn apart in this game. And now the Giants start their offseason with a whole lot of questions. And I'm going to start first with the coaching news that's been going around. Obviously, unless you guys have been living in the dark recently, the Giants' offensive coordinator, Mike Kafka, and their defensive coordinator, Wink Martindale, have both recently had second coaching interviews or will be going for second coaching interviews. Kafka just completed his second interview with the Houston Texans for their vacant head coaching job. And Wink Martindale is expected to go for a second interview for the Indianapolis Colts vacant head coaching job. So don't be surprised if the New York Giants lose one or both of their coordinators. Am I saying that's going to happen? Absolutely not. Do I think it's going to happen? I still believe both will be back by the time we start the 2023 NFL season. I mean, maybe my confidence in the both of them returning is a little bit lower than it was before. I know Vegas is putting out some type of ridiculous thing saying they're expecting them both to be back, but I don't believe Vegas or anything they say anymore. So we'll have to wait and see what's going to happen. But right now, as we speak, both Wink Martindale and Mike Kafka are going or have gone for second interviews. Kafka with the Texans, and Martindale with the Colts. It would be a big blow to the Giants team if one or both guys are in fact not back for the beginning of the 2023 season. And there was a report coming out from ESPN's Jordan Raanan that just came out maybe about 15, 20 minutes ago saying that because of the importance of him to the locker room and because of how well liked he is by the players, maybe the New York Giants decided to bite the bullet and they decided to pay Wink Martindale big time money to stay on as their defensive coordinator long term. Because I do believe out of the two, I believe that Wink Martindale is the long-term guy who they believe they want to have on the team longer term because of the way he calls his defensive schemes and because of how well respected he is by the Giants in the locker room. I do believe that if any coach is going to get a long-term deal, it's going to be Wink Martindale in terms of the defensive coordinator. Oh, man. You're lucky, bro. I miss Harold's Deli. I miss Harold's Deli, especially over here in, like, the Jersey area. But, I mean, I do believe that Wink Martindale is going to be more of a priority, and I think the Giants are going to try to do whatever they can to try to sign Wink Martindale to a long-term deal as the defensive coordinator. We'll have to wait and see if the Giants are going to be willing to pay him top money for being the defensive coordinator on this team and try to lure him away if he wants to get a head coaching job. Because remember, Wink Martindale is in his late 50s, almost early 60s. This might be his best chance to become a head coach if that's what his desire is to eventually become a head coach at least once or twice in his coaching career. We'll have to wait and see what happens. But either way, it's going to be something to really monitor. And same thing with Kafka going forward in terms of being the head coaching candidate for the Houston Texans. So that's just a very interesting thing that was thrown out there in the past few days, is that both Wink Martindale and Mike Kafka are being interviewed for coaching candidates, head coaching candidates for the 2023 NFL season. We're just going to have to wait and see if they both accept it, have overall. Thank you very much, Nikki. Appreciate the kind words. Guys, make sure you guys go sub up to Nicky Stees. He's a Philadelphia Eagles, Philadelphia 76ers, Philadelphia Phillies, Flyers content creator. Make sure you guys go give sub up to our guy, Nicky Stees. He's a great guy, great content creator. Appreciate him a lot for all the work and all the jobs he does. But that's just the news around the Giants right now, and in terms of the coordinator positions, and obviously we know about the Giants, free agency going forward, and what the Giants are going to be doing in terms of who their free agents are going into this offseason. The Giants have 20 free agents right now scheduled for the offseason. Everybody's not meant to be head coaches. That is true. You're absolutely right. We've seen a lot of guys that have not meant to be head coaches, but doesn't mean that they want to give it a shot. There's some guys that just want to have their opportunity to become a head coach, even if it might not be the smartest thing for them. The Giants right now are currently projected to have about $54 million of salary cap space right at this moment, before we get TV revenue money coming in, before salary cap cuts, salary cap restructures, extensions, all that kind of stuff. So right now, as we speak, the Giants have $54 million available in cap space overall. In terms of the largest contracts on the books, Leonard Williams is a $32 million cap hit on the team. He hit an $18 million cap salary going into 2023. Kenny Golladay is $21,400,000 in terms of a cap hit. He's got a base salary of $13,250,000, and then Adoree Jackson has got a $19 million cap hit with $11 million base salary. So we're going to have to wait and see what's going to happen with those players going forward into the season, as well as you got to look at guys in terms of the available salary cap space too. You got guys like free agents, pretty much like Saquon Barkley, Sterling Shepard, Daniel Jones, Julian Love, O'Shane Ximines, Jihad Ward, just to name a few that are going to be free agents going into this offseason. So the Giants are going to have to try to figure out who they're going to prioritize going forward into the offseason, and what guys they're going to be looking forward to making a main priority to try to sign long-term going into the offseason. But good to see my guy over here. You guys know him from obviously the real deal NFC East roundup. I can't believe I just messed that one up. The real deal NFC roundup, and that's my guy, Mac, the Giants fan. Mac, thank you for coming by the show. How you doing, bro?
I'm good, man. I'm good. How you feeling today, Jeff?
Feeling good, man. It's just a little weird doing this show for the first time, and talking off season. It's been a great ride for the Giants, but hopefully, I hate to see that Eagles crap on my background right now. I wish I could. I got to change that crap back. The Eagles stuff is making me sick. But either way, I mean, how are you feeling today, Mac?
I'm just good, chilling, man. I had a rare Friday off, so I'm going to try to just relax, enjoy the day. Figure I'll come on, join you for a little bit. Ready for some good football on Sunday, hopefully.
No doubt
Even
about
though I'll
it,
be
man.
without the Giants.
Yeah, that's the shame of it that our season had to come to an end as abruptly as it did. But Mac, what do you think about the recent rumors that have come out about Mike Kafka and Wink Martindale getting second interviews with for head coaching positions?
I mean, I don't really think much of it. I still actually still feel kind of strongly that those guys will be back with the New York Giants next year in the same positions. I mean, they're going to go take their interviews, go interview, take the opportunities that are coming right now. But I don't think either one of them are necessarily going to rush off and just take a shitty job. To be quite frank, you know what I mean. I think they're going to still take their time, make the best decision for them, and going forward. And I believe the best decision is to be back with the New York Giants for at least another year.
Yeah, I mean, I agree with you too. I think both the best thing for both guys is to pretty much stay with this organization, see what you can do in 2023, take your chances, see if maybe you can even build your resume more up, and then if you want an opportunity in 2024, go for it. But I mean, I don't know if you heard the rumor came that Jordan Renan just threw out there on ESPN saying that the Giants might be willing to give Wink Martindale, head coach type money to keep him on as defensive coordinator. And I actually entertain it. I would entertain keeping Wink Martindale and pay him the type of money for, become the highest defensive coordinator because of how much he means to this team and what he can really do for this team on the defensive side going forward. Kafka, I expect him to get a head coaching position within the next year or two. I think he's going to be one of those hot shot new offensive coordinators that will get a job. But I think Martindale is just too important on this defense to let go.
I mean, I totally agree. I think that both of these guys they're gonna listen, see what's out there. I think they're gonna try to kind of gauge their value for this season, all season, how things are. But I think they both are a little bit they're hungry for more with this New York Giant team, at least another year. You know what I mean? It ended on such a sour note for everybody. I think they want to they're just as antsy to get back into it with the Giants and try to win one with the New York Giants before really moving on. But at the same time, this is a business and it's the nature of the business and that's what happens. I mean, there's a lot of good head coaching candidates out there. I feel like that are, especially when you come to Mike Kafka. I feel like Mike Kafka really definitely needs another year or two actually as a coordinator before just jumping off into the land of being a head coach. Wink's a little more seasoned, I get, but I think I think that he's also just as hungry to come back and be a part of this everything that's going on. I mean, you can hear even the rumblings from the New York Giant players. People want to be a part of this right now. They want to be a part of what's going on in New York. So, and I think the coaches pretty much feel the same way, man. That game last Saturday night left a sour taste in everybody's mouth, So nobody really wants to end it on a note like that. And I think that I feel good that we'll see both of these guys back. And if it takes a little extra money to keep Wink around, then so be it, man. At the same time, I mean, because he is a valuable part of what's going on here, and I definitely would love to see him with a few better pieces on that defense, so he can really, really open his defense up to the way he really wants to do things.
I agree 100%. That's perfectly said. I mean, you just said it right there by the fact that, one, they have a sour taste in their mouth after that loss that they had against the Philadelphia Eagles on Saturday last week. And also the fact that so many players on this team are vouching to keep Wink Martindale here, and they want to be part of this organization. And also we got to think about, too, Wink didn't have his players. He was playing with a lot of guys that he had to inherit from the old regime. So you got to think, what is Wink Martindale going to be able to do when he gets his own guys into this organization and plays with guys that are, be able to run his system on defense a lot better than what he had this past season? I mean, we have some guys that we could consider long-term pieces on the team, but at the same time, there's a lot of other guys. Appreciate you dropping the link, by the way. Thank you very much, Mac. But there's a lot of things that are going to be going forward, a lot of decisions that are going to have to be made on this team on both sides of the ball, offensively and defensively. And if it's going to take a little extra money to keep Wink Martindale here, you goddamn right, you got to go out there and you do it, because this guy is too important to the culture, to like the defensive mindset, the scheme, the play calling. And everybody keeps saying, hey, we're a 4 or 5 win team that went out there and overachieved because of the coaching. At this point, why would you want to let these guys go when they have been so important to this football team's success? And can you imagine how much better they could be and the types of defensive schemes they can run when you actually get their players in here going into 2023? So that's what you really got to think about when it comes to the importance of keeping Martindale and keeping Kafka for the 2023 season. But what's going on, Mitch? How you doing, bro?
I'm doing good. You want to hear something funny? So remember
What's
the
that?
Crown Jewel event in 2021?
Yes.
I just got a copyright claim from that.
Why?
I don't know. It's not allowed in some countries. I'm like, what the hell?
Okay. That's
I'm like, I'll take it.
weird.
I don't care.
Yeah, that is what it is. But
Thank God
uh,
you and I deleted all the stream. Thank God, right?
yeah. I mean, it is what it is. You got to be careful with those copyright stuff. But
It was a
uh,
claim, so it's like it's not gonna hurt.
yeah, absolutely. But Mac, I want to ask you about, since it's like way too early free agency stuff. Obviously, we've all heard the rumors about what Saquon Barkley right now is looking for in terms of a contract this offseason. He's looking for 16 mil per year, somewhere around Christian McCaffrey's numbers. And we're all speculating that Daniel Jones could probably make at least 30, 35 mil per year, depending on what his agent looks for. And pretty much, if he wants to, he doesn't have to negotiate a contract immediately and just wait until we get to around how the free agent market plays out, because Daniel Jones is right now probably the most desirable quarterback on the free agent market. For him being only 24, 25 years old, him being able to, show upside going into this past season. Obviously, Barkley, there's a lot of other good running backs on the market that are going to be gauging, looking at Ezekiel Elliott's contract. They're going to be looking at, obviously, what McCaffrey just made a couple of years ago. So how do you feel about, we'll start with obviously the two biggest players for the Giants, what everybody's going to be talking about this offseason is Daniel Jones and Saquon Barkley, and the value that you think these guys will get on the open market, and if you think they're 100% guaranteed to be coming back as New York Giants in the offseason for the team in 2023.
Well, I don't think either one of them are guaranteed to be coming back. Unfortunately, I'm getting this bad feeling that one of them may not be back, unfortunately, and at least one of them may not be back. I'm just not sure exactly which one at this point in time. I mean, they both say all the right things. Saquon Barkley said he's not looking to break the bank or anything, not looking to set the new market, but I mean, he still wants to be paid fairly, as he should. I mean, the last thing you want to see is Saquon Barkley walk away and go somewhere, and then next year he's on some team and he runs for like 2,000 yards because he's
Yeah.
Saquon Barkley. We know the talent of Saquon Barkley. We know some of the things that have been holding him back here, besides the injuries, also the fact that this is just not a very talented football team. He's never run behind a good offensive line. He's played 1 year with a good wide receiver in Odell Beckham, and you saw the things he was doing his rookie season. Saquon Barkley, when Odell Beckham was out there and had defenses, was helping defenses to be spread out a little bit more, giving Saquon Barkley better running lanes, still with their horrible offensive line, mind you. He was hitting the home run a lot more than he has been these last few years. I mean, let's face it, he's a home run hitter, and he can, and just that's been lacking because teams have been able to just stack that box on him because we haven't had receivers that teams have to respect. So we get a receiver or two out there that guys defense has got to respect. That opens things up for Saquon Barkley as well as Daniel Jones. So that's just the value of Saquon Barkley. I think people are really just underselling it. And like I said, me as a fan, the last thing I want to see is him go somewhere in free agency and just have some insane monster year because that's how talented he actually is. And we didn't get and we weren't able to pull all that out of him because we just didn't build a good enough team around him for his tenure here. As far as Daniel Jones, I mean, the same thing. I mean, at the end of the day, right now, I think he did play good enough this season. He definitely deserves a contract. I'm not saying go out there and just give him a king's ransom, but at the same time, once again, you got to pay these guys fairly, man. And that's what it all. It's going to be tough decisions for Joe Schoen to be dealing with. I just hope John Mara can stay back, stay out of the way, and allow Joe Schoen to handle this the way he sees fit. I mean, I would like perfect scenario. I would like both of them to be back as New York Giants next year. I think they both deserve to be back as New York Giants. I think while this thing is turning around and they've been here through all the stuff they've had to deal with, that they've earned the right to be here while things are starting to go good again, while things are starting to go good and get better. It would just suck to lose either one of them, in my opinion. Like everybody can say what they want about Daniel Jones. There's not a rookie quarterback coming out in this draft that I feel like so much more confident with that guy plugging him in next year as opposed to just having Daniel Jones, who now will be a second year in an offense that he seems to be embracing and enjoying the run. I mean, I know how it was a bad game for everybody against the Eagles on Saturday night, but the Eagles are a good football team. We're not there yet. We're not at the level of the best teams in the league yet. I mean, that was proven clearly on Saturday night. We had a good season, solid season, but we're just not We're not the Eagles. We're not the Chiefs. We're not the Bengals, the 49ers, not the Bills or the Cowboys. You know what I mean? So it just we got a lot of work to do this offseason. That's what's going to be fun this offseason, man. I can't wait for free agency to get started and see how things go from there because then that'll
What's up,
dictate
Miss?
the kind of moves we might make come draft time as well.
Absolutely, and I'm actually glad, Mac, that you brought up the owner, John Mara, because that's one of the things that I'm a little bit worried about is Mara somehow meddling into Giants business. Is that if Joe Shane really believes that the best course of action is not to give, Saquon Barkley a monster contract because of ramifications and how it could hurt the cap going forward, and same thing with Daniel Jones, if he thinks that his value is not at a certain point, I'm afraid that John Mara might step in and be like, because of everything that's happened around Jones and Barkley, because of how much they're well liked by the organization, that Mara might step in and decide to, say, well, we are not letting these two guys go no matter what, and I will be willing to pay any type of money it is, and I want you to pay whatever it is to keep these two guys part of the organization. That's the one thing that worries me about John Mara, because he's done it before, where he's meddled into business, and he's just got to let Joe Shane do what is best for the organization. I want Barkley back too. I want Jones back too. Like you said, both these guys deserve to be back. But you got to think about the ramifications of the cap going into the future because we have looked. All you got to do is just look at Dallas. All you got to do is just look on Dallas. Absolutely, Miss. I'll send you the link in the chat. All you got to do is just look at Dallas and look what's happened to that organization. They decided to pay Ezekiel Elliott and Dak Prescott big-time money to keep them there long-term. And yes, they've drafted very well, and that's a part of it. You got to be able to draft very well going forward in the NFL. But at the same time, you also have got to make sure you put your money into the important recesses so you don't lose players over time. You could argue that Dallas has lost some very talented players because they had to pay the quarterback and the running back a lot of money and give them big-time years over the season. Now, obviously, what we've all been talking about is Jones gets about 30, 35 million. If that's around the money that he gets for maybe like 3-4 years, over 100 mil, and then you could talk about tagging Saquon Barkley. Is Saquon Barkley going to be willing to play on the franchise tag? I don't know. We know how players are when it comes to being tagged on the franchise tag. And are you willing to rent Saquon on 1 year to, see if he can maybe boost his value and be able to do it 2 years in a row? That's what I want to see out of these guys. Can they do this multiple years in a row? Because they've done it one. Barkley did it in 2018. Then he had a few years where he couldn't stay healthy. And then he was able to have a healthy year this year and be able to produce. Can he be able to do it in 2023? And same thing with Daniel Jones. I want to see how he looks in a second year, hopefully with Mike Kafka in this offensive system. Is he going to be able to produce the type of numbers that he was able to do in 2022 and even be able to expand on that with better offensive playmakers and a better overall offensive line in 2023? I'm just looking at it from the cap reason, and I'm just, I want the Giants to do the smartest thing for the cap because we have dealt with so many cap issues over the past few years. I'm just looking at the health standpoint of the salary cap going into 2023 and beyond. That's it. Do I want to keep both these guys long-term? Absolutely. But there's also, we got to improve our depth. We got to improve our linebacking core, which is a disaster. We got to improve the wide receiver position. We might need another cornerback. We have other players on this team that are due extensions long-term. Andrew Thomas, Xavier McKinney, Dexter Lawrence. You also got other key free agents that might need to look to re-sign. Julian Love being one of them. So that's the only thing I'm wondering in terms of like the offseason. I'm ready to take the hard decisions. I'm ready for this team to make the hard decisions this offseason. If it includes letting a Saquon Barkley go or even Daniel Jones. Well, I think it wouldn't be the smartest decision. I'm open to anything and everything for this organization.
I agree. And like I said, I just want to leave it in the hands of Joe Shane, who I think up to this point has been doing a fantastic job, obviously. So I just want to leave it. And Shane, I trust, man. Whatever. I mean, like I said, at the end of the day, as big of a fan as I am of Saquon Barkley, at the same time, man, if Joe Shane doesn't feel it's best for business to pay him, then it is what it is, and I'll stand by that decision, man. I'm still going to be a New York Giants supporter at the end of the day, and that's what it all comes down to. I mean, I think as far as seeing what Barkley can do on a franchise tag, I think that's kind of a you know what Barkley can do. You know what a
Yeah.
healthy Saquon Barkley can do. There's no secret there. I mean, he's had 3,000-yard seasons, and those are the seasons he's played the most football. Those are pretty much the seasons he's played the most games. The most games in his career. So his healthier seasons, so to speak. I mean, last year I think was more of an aberration of just the whole situation just being bad. I mean, because he only missed a few games last year as well.
Yeah,
And
halftime.
he obviously fell very well short of 1,000 yards rushing last year. But at the same time, I think that was just an aberration of how bad the football team was in general, how poorly coached it was, and just how poorly set up this team was.
Take your
So
time,
I think
Miz.
we do know full on well what Saquon Barkley can do when he's healthy. His rookie season, he's rookie of the year, consensus rookie of the year, basically. His second season, he had missed a few games and he still made it over the 1,000-yard mark, coming off with that high ankle sprain during the season, his second season, and obviously know the ACL tear, and then last year was just a bad season, man. It was just a rough year for the whole entire team. But he rebounded strongly once again this year, man. Back into the Pro Bowl. I mean, pretty much just missed being an All Pro. So I think we know what Saquon Barkley can do. I think that's part of why he's maybe hesitant to want to play on a franchise tag because he doesn't have anything to prove. You know what he can do. I mean, Jones has been a little bit of a different situation, but I think this year he showed with some competent coaching and a good support system around him, he's shown what he can do as well. He's not going to be Patrick Mahomes ever, but at the same time, he can be a very competent starting quarterback in this league, and I can see why the team would want to continue trying to grow with Daniel Jones.
That's perfect way to put it. I mean, I think that they're going to sign Jones. It's just really about how's the money going to look? How much is he going to get on the open market? Is he going to be willing to get closer to the open market? And well, Alex, honestly, I think that's the best thing to happen for the Cowboys because I think Dan Quinn is a great defensive coordinator. I think that's a monster plus to get him back in your system going
Has he
into
made that
2023.
decision? He's made that decision already. It's
Yes.
like official.
Yeah.
Oh wow.
Yeah, he's
Cowboys
officially
fans
coming
still
back.
want him gone, though.
I don't understand it. He's been
gone.
terrific. He's been a great defensive
Yeah.
coordinator to that team. I don't get it.
That'd be a major.
I'd be
It would
happy
be a
to have
major
him.
loss. That would be a major
Mhm.
loss.
AK, what's going on, bro? And Mitch, I'm not ignoring you or the Eagles right now. We're just getting the Giants. We're talking
No, you're
Giants right
fine.
now, but
You're fine. You're
we'll
fine.
get
I'm doing
we'll get to your game in a little bit.
No,
We'll
no,
talk
no.
the
It's all
Eagles
good.
game.
It's all good. I'm doing some stuff, so you're good.
Okay.
Don't worry
But
about
yeah.
me. You're fine.
All right. Thank you. But
Yeah.
I mean, also, I mean, you have to think about it too. I mean, the one thing that I want to see this team do, and at least what Joe Shane said in his press conference overall, I don't know who is this. I don't know who this is. That's really sweet. Thank you very much. But,
Who is that?
I don't know, but he's been
Yeah, I don't
kicked.
know who that is.
But either way, I mean, the one thing that I found very interesting. It's okay. It's all right. It's Sean
Sorry.
Ariel. I'd be
We
more
lost
pissed
the
off
following
at-
week.
Yeah.
We
I'd
lost
be more
worse than you
pissed at
guys
my
lost.
team. I'd be more pissed at my team than I would be pissed at us. We just went out there and beat you guys. It's not our fault we beat you. So, I mean, I understand if you'd be salty towards us, but I mean, you guys need to figure out something, especially a quarterback. But I mean, the
Well,
interesting
defensively,
thing.
too.
Oh my
Get
God,
that defense
it's
get that
really bad.
defense in check.
You know what? Speaking of that, Mac, I'm glad you brought that up. Do you think that the Giants fans, we got a little bit ahead of ourselves? I know you talked about it on the NFC East Roundup on Wednesday. Do you think that we got a little bit ahead of ourselves because of how well we played against the Minnesota Vikings? And like maybe we just thought that our offense and our team was playing a lot better and we were a lot better than we thought, and we underestimated the Eagles?
Well, it did give us a little bit of false hope, and it's not to say that Minnesota had a very successful season, and you can't just knock a team that's 13-4 and discredit a team that's 13-4. They were 13-4 at the end of the day. No matter how poorly their defense was, they still managed to be
welcome.
13. They still managed to be 13-4. So at the end of the day, you're not going to sit there and be like, we still went up to Minnesota on Wild Card Weekend and beat a good football team, and that gave us a little bit of false hope. But we didn't beat one of the upper echelon teams right now. Like I said, the Eagles, the Niners, the Bengals, the Chiefs. There's a reason why these teams are the Final Four. There's a reason why these teams are still playing, because to be quite honest, they are probably the best 4 teams in the NFL, especially late in the season. They were probably easily the 4 best teams in the NFL. I mean, you can go either way with the Eagles and Niners. The Eagles started off the season tremendous. The Niners finished off the season tremendous. The Eagles had a little bit of hiccups in December, but that was when Jalen Hurts was down and stuff like that. They obviously proved what they are once again when they came in and blew the doors off of us in the divisional round of the playoffs. And we gained a little bit of false hope. We thought that we were good enough to play with the big boys, and they proved us wrong, to be quite frank. They proved us wrong. We weren't good enough to play with the big boys. I feel like we would have had a similar result even if we played against the Niners or any these other teams. It just proves that we weren't ready for that level of competition quite yet. We're on our way, but we're not there quite yet.
We'll get there eventually. We're still team still rebuilding, but what's going on, Mace? Did you just come from the gym?
Yeah, I was in the gym. What's going on?
Good. How you doing, bro?
Hey, brothers. No, nothing, man. I just wanted to put my 2 cents in. This was my plan. Look, check it out. You tag Barkley. If Barkley doesn't want to play under the 1-year tag, you look for a trade. You move on from Barkley because there are big running backs in this draft, and we have other guys that to me are higher on the list. If you want to build a team that's going to win a championship down the road, and you want a long-term winning football team, not just a 2-year wonder bread, you cannot pour your money into everybody. And I'm sorry, the odd man out is the running back. So, you tag Barkley for 1 year because of what he means to the city and the fan base, and you tell him, look, you play 1 more year. It's a good tag. It's $10.5 million. There's no way in the world these guys are paying him anywhere near $16 million. Let's get real. And I'm not paying him $14 million either. So they offered him what they offered him. I believe is that what they were going to offer him is the cap. They're not going higher than 12, maybe 12.5. But to tell you the truth, you must rip up and re-sign Dexter Lawrence long term. You have Thomas coming up. Those are the 2 staple pieces of the trenches, and they have to be here long term. Daniel Jones going to get a contract, and here was my plan. I was talking to Adam, as you know where Adam stands. You give Jones a 3-year contract with an opt-out after 2. In 2024, there's no way in the world these guys are going to skip on that massive quarterback class. You draft a young quarterback in 24. He sits for a year. He learns under Jones. He takes over in 25. That's why you sign Jones to a 3-year deal, 85 to 90 million tops, and you opt out after 2, so he's not guaranteed the 3rd year. And that's the way we go about it. That's the best way to have the Giants where they could start to win now, but also get better and have a long-term plan. I believe Joe Shane and Dabo are on top of it. I believe Mara will have no fucking say whatsoever at all, because I look at Joe Shane and he looks like a man that is in complete control of the organization. And you sign Dexter to a 4-year deal. You rip up this year, okay, with an option for a 5th, because I believe Dexter is going. It's not a 1-year thing. He's gonna. And I've been saying this for 2 years when people wanted to get rid of him. I was the only one of the few people that thought people were out of their minds. Dexter Lawrence is going to be a top-tier defensive tackle in the NFL for years to come. Look. If Barkley's not going to play under the cap, you cap his ass, and you could get a late 1 from Buffalo or an early or mid-2 from the Ravens. Those are 2 teams that are interested, and I'll take the top pick to keep building the team. And there are running backs in this draft, including that bull from Texas,
Bluebird. Oh, Bijan Robinson?
And there's a few others. The Giants can get a running back if they were moving on from Barkley in the second or third round, a real quality running back with young, fresh legs, making no money at all. Hey,
No, I'm
sorry. I love Barkley too. But, yo, this is a business in the NFL. And if you're going to want to pay people because it's sentimental, you're never going to get a team that's going to be a top-level team for a nice 5-year run. And take a look, like you said earlier, at the Cowboys. They're about to crumble.
Oh, Miz, it's right here. Arku says it right here. Stop being loyal to these guys. We can't stop. We have to stop being loyal to certain players. We got to do what's best for the organization going forward in the future. And I'm glad you brought up Dexter Lawrence because to me, like you just said, the two most important players on this team that have to get signed long-term is Andrew Thomas and Dexter Lawrence. They are building blocks on this team going forward. Even more, Jones obviously is important too because he's the quarterback, but Thomas is a franchise left tackle that you need to lock up long-term. Maybe not now. I think they're going to wait until around mid-season or sometime in season 2023 or the off-season of 2023 to get him done. And then Lawrence, in my opinion, he is number one on the list you have got to get done because of how he played. And if Martindale is still here as the defensive coordinator and does not take that Colts job, Dexter Lawrence has got to be a major priority and lock him up to that long-term deal. No more rotation of defensive tackles in and out of the organization. You keep that man here, and you keep him as a staple. And thank God, Leonard Williams, who's got a massive cap hit right now on the team, he said he's willing to take a pay cut to help out the organization to stay on this team because of all the injury issues that he dealt with in the offseason. And we all love Barkley. We all want Barkley here long term. But like you said, it's very difficult to pay a running back $16 million a year who has had multiple leg injuries, especially an ACL injury. And there's even been runs before where in the past Barkley has busted them off for touchdowns that he hasn't had that same exact second or third gear of speed that he had during his rookie year. So you got to be smart with the cap, and Mara, stay out of the business and let Joe Schoen do whatever it is necessary to get this team in the best financial position going into the future. And I don't mind, Jones, if they give him a 2 or 3 year deal with an opt-out.
The quarterback from the rest of the plays. The quarterback is a different story. You need a quarterback. And I'm not going to grab some guy. You got Jones here. You know what he could do for the team. Sign him for 3 years. You don't got to commit to him for 10. Do a 3-year thing. You are 100% can draft a really young, good quarterback in the 24 draft. That's perfect. And you set yourself up long term. But, I love Barkley. He's a great name. He's so much fun to watch. He ain't winning us a championship. And I'm building for a championship. And there's other names too, man. You can let Love go. You can fill that spot with another player. There's 3 names on this team. You know what? I'll say 4 names. There's 4 names on this team that has to be here. It's Dexter, it's Thomas, it's McKinney, and it's Kayvon. You don't got to worry about Kayvon for 3 more years. Those are foundational pieces. Adoree Jackson I like. He's going to be here 1 more year, and then we'll see what happens. You could draft a young corner in this draft, and you could draft another young corner in next year's draft. That's how you plan.
Yeah.
And if you want to trade a 2 to go get Higgins from Cincinnati, that's fine. But you got to consider what that guy's going to demand in a contract. You can't pay every player $20 million a year.
Yeah. No, you're right. You're right. And, I just want to know how the organization feels completely about McKinney because of the incident that happened in the offseason. I know Joe Schoen.
Eagle fan, you're having a great run, and I think you're going to the Super Bowl. But, your day is coming where you're going to have to pay that guy. And
I know.
Right where we are.
Wait, Hurts or?
Yeah. Hurts.
Oh, yeah, I know. We're already talking about that now.
He's going to break the damn bank. You know it.
I know. I was talking about it with my guys over to the Painted Lines, and there's no way we're going to give him $50 million a year. There's no way. I don't want to do.
He might get 40 a year, especially if he takes you to a Super Bowl.
If it's like less than that, because we still got 18 other guys to worry about. Like, we got unrestricted free agents to worry about. Like Bradbury,
You know, the
I
difference
can go on and
between you
on.
and Dallas is Hurts is worth the money. He's going to be good for a long time. I
Yeah.
Yeah.
think Dak Prescott is a really good game manager. He's not what they paid him. That's
No.
how I feel.
He's not a
I think he's
game
a system
manager when you
quarterback.
lead the league in interceptions and play it in less amount of games. You're not a game manager when you lead the league in interceptions.
But that's what Dak is, basically.
Hey,
Yeah.
he has the same amount of playoff wins as Brock Purdy.
But
Right. And Dallas is kind of in that trouble now. They're $4 million under the cap.
Mhm.
They have no running back. Ezekiel Elliott is finished. And this guy just broke his leg.
yeah, Pollard.
Pollard.
Problem. So you got to imagine
Pollard's a free agent. They're
Dallas
going to have
might
to make
be
a decision
spending
on
their
him this
first round
offseason.
pick on a running back.
What's up, Bluebird? How you doing, bro?
But yo,
What's
I
going on, guys?
congratulate you guys last
Yo, what up, man? It's been a bit.
Want to be a fair fan and congratulate the Eagles. You whooped our goddamn ass. It's fine. Like Max said earlier, we're not there yet. It's fine to admit that. But we had a good season. It was a great stepping stone. So
I'm
Oh,
proud of the team. I'm proud of the Giants this year. We've all
I
said
would
that.
be
We're very
too,
proud
honestly.
of
I
this
would
team.
be too.
I'm just at the point. I'm probably and Mac and Miz and the rest of the Giants fans probably feel the same. The ones that are understanding of everything. Whatever the GM and the head coach want to do this offseason, 100% for. If they decide that Julian Love is not part of the plans going forward, let him go, and you have Dane Belton or somebody else take over at safety. If they want to try to see if they want to let other guys on this team go, like a Jahide Ward, who I'm a little bit upset with because I thought this guy gave up a little bit in that last game against the Eagles, but I love
He
Jahide
did.
Ward
He
as
did.
I like Jahide Ward as a decent outside linebacker. That's fine. Azeez Ojulari should be part of that future core, but this dude cannot stay healthy, and I would definitely look to get another outside linebacker or pass rusher to go overlap Ojulari because of his health issues. I'm going to give Evan Neal a year to see if he can get himself together in terms of his footwork, his hand placement, everything. He needs to shed some weight. He needs to play at a little bit lesser of a weight on the field because this guy falls over his damn feet every second when he tries to go out there and protect. He struggles against speed rushers on the outside. So Neal has got to really get in the gym, tone himself down, lose a little bit of weight, and improve on his quickness and his footwork to be able to handle these speed rushers on the outsides. Otherwise, it's going to be a nightmare at that right tackle position because he's not going to be able to catch up with some of these guys, speed rushers on the outside. And in terms of some of the other core players on this team, I mean, Slayton, I think we all agree that Slayton's probably not going to be here. Richie James is probably not going to be here. I mean, Isaiah Hodgins, I hope he's going to be here. I would even think about giving him an extension unless you want him to play on 2023 deal. See how he does, then you can decide.
James back, Jeff. I would bring James back for 1 year on a cheap.
It depends on how much he's going to command. No, Galladay's going to be gone. Galladay's gone.
Galladay's gone.
I believe we get
I'm
back.
still a little mad that he scored a touchdown on us. I'm still a little mad.
I don't know what's going to happen with Richie James. I could honestly, at this point, I don't mind letting him go because you got Robinson that'll eventually be back. I know he's going to be out for the first half of the season, but you could easily find a receiver that, could do the job that Richie James did. To me, he's more of a special teams guy. I mean, O'Shane Zimenez, I think, is gone.
If you're getting James for nothing, you already have him in the building.
But that's what you need to keep Richie James here for. You need to keep Richie James here for the special teams. He's the offense. He just kind of got thrusted into that role. He wasn't meant to be out there so much offensively. He's meant to be a special teams guy, a return specialist. I mean, sometimes you got a decent guy in the building for that role. Don't disrupt it. You know what I mean? Keep him here. You can keep a guy like that around cheap. And the fact that he can Adam only gives you that a little bit more. So I feel like that's what Richie James. As far as my last thought with Barkley, my only problem with the Barkley situation is Barkley is a phenomenal player. I'm sorry, he's a phenomenal talent. He's not just some regular average run-of-the-mill running back that you can just plug another guy in and he's going to give you what Barkley gives you. But the thing is, if we're not going to be able to get, to something that works for the New York Giants, I would have rather got him traded, man. Trade him where you dictate where he goes a little bit. You can dictate a bit more where he goes. The way clean free on his own, who's to say he won't sign with the Washington Commanders? And then we got to play him 2 times a year. Who's to say he won't sign with the damn Dallas Cowboys? And we got to play him 2 times. And we know the Eagles are notorious for just doing things that make you say, well, why they do that? They didn't need that guy, but they got him anyway. So it's like, that's the only thing that scares me about Barkley just walking away as a free agent cleanly, where he can just sign anywhere he wants. Because I personally, if I'm trading him out to the AFC somewhere where at best we might have to play him once every 4 years. You know
Send
what I
him to
mean?
Buffalo.
And that's it. We don't have to.
So
it's like-
Buffalo.
Send
the
him to
point
Buffalo.
is, that's my only thing with somebody letting a player like Barkley just walk away clean free without having any kind of say in where he's going and where he may go. Because he's not the kind of player that I want the defense to have to deal with every damn season either, you know. So I don't know. That's just my take on Barkley. But at the same time, at the end of the day, whatever Joe Shane decisions they make, that's what's going to be best for the New York Giants.
that's why you
and I'm
take
going to
him,
still
Matt.
support that.
That's why you take
You
him.
say
Then
what?
we control where he goes. You know what I mean?
What is it, like a couple of first-round picks you'd have to give away? Or they have to give for 2 first-round? I don't know if a team's going to do that for a running back.
No. It's not. If you take Jones and somebody else takes him, then you get 2 first-round picks. But that's not
Okay.
going to happen. But if you take Barkley for 1 year, it's $10.5 million. He either
Okay.
plays under the tag with us, or we trade him to where we want to trade him. A team like Buffalo for a late first-round pick, or a 2 and a 5, something like that.
Thank you for the like, Robert Bruce, on Facebook. Appreciate the like on Facebook.
I'm with Mac. You want to control where he's going.
Yeah.
You don't want that son of a bitch Cowboy team grabbing him. And you want to get something. You don't want Barkley walking away for a 3rd-round comp pick. That's garbage.
No, that would be the ultimate nightmare if, God forbid, that ever happens. If he walks away for just like a 3rd-round comp pick, that you're asking for trouble if that ends up happening. I mean, but just listening to like the press conference that Joe Shane did, I mean, you heard all the words he was saying. He spoke glowingly about Leonard Williams, about Sterling Shepard, about Julian Love, about Dexter Lawrence, Daniel Jones, and everybody. It just seems like he was a little bit keen on Barkley. It didn't seem like the Barkley stuff threw me off for a loop. It could just be like, negotiating tactics and stuff, behind the scenes. It set me it was a little weird how he didn't, he just called him a good player. They hope to bring him back, etc. Well, these other players, they talk about how important they are to the organization, how they like them back. Like, even said, Jones, seems like they're going to do everything to try to bring Jones back. I mean, Julian Love, they really like. They'd like to have him back. Dexter Lawrence, they talked about how important he is. They talked about Sterling Shepard bringing him back because of how important he is to the organization. Barkley it just felt weird because I figured Barkley would be one of the top guys, but like you guys said, the value of the running back position, we always keep talking about it. The value of the running back position is so scarce because how these guys break down early in their careers. And look at Elliott. The guy's, 28 years old, and he's nowhere near the player he was before. Do you want to commit Saquon Barkley to a long-term deal, and if, God forbid, he turns into what Elliott is in a year or two, as much as we love him and as dynamic of a player he is? I think he's not the same player he was in his rookie year. He has probably lost a little bit of his extra burst from his rookie season because of that ACL injury, but he's still a dynamic player. It's just what are the Giants going to be willing to give him? $12 million a year? He already turned that down.
It's negotiation. They're not giving the media. You don't want to go up there. Oh, this guy's great. He's all world. Blah blah. Now he wants his $16 million. It's a difference. The way they talk about him is it's going to be the difference between him getting $15 million a year or $13 million a year. Maybe at 13 they're willing to sign him. Maybe at 15 and they're not. Maybe they made him an offer for $12 million a year for 3 years. He said no, and they don't like that taste in their mouth from that. We don't know.
Would he be willing to take a $13 million deal, though, Miz? Would he be willing to do it because he did turn down 12?
There's no doubt in my mind, 100% Barkley's getting tagged. You'll see.
No, I agree with you. I think he is too.
Yeah. He's going to get 10.5 for 1 year, and then they'll work on a contract. But if it doesn't work out, he's playing here for 1 year on the $10.5 million a year. Why not? We would be stupid not to use that tag.
But what do you guys think, in your opinion, is going to be Joe Shane's priority in the offseason in terms of like what he's going to be prioritizing, 1, 2, 3, 4, etc.? Like, Mac and Miz, and if Bluebird and Mitch Kofsky, you guys want to give your input as well. But what do you guys think is going to be Joe Shane's top priority, and like check it down the list, like from 1 to so on?
Actually, I got some breaking news involving basketball, though. The Knicks have offered multiple first-round picks for OG Anunoby, per Ian Begley.
Well, that's interesting. That's a
The Knicks are fucking idiots. Do you understand? And I'm a diehard Knicks fan. They have no long-term plan. I worked there for 8 years, and I stayed in the hallways because I didn't want to watch them. You understand? And I'm a diehard Knicks fan since I'm 9. The Knicks make me sick.
hey, they beat Boston last night.
In overtime.
As a matter of fact, if the Knicks had brains, instead of chasing a 1 round and out this year, right now, while Randall's stock is high, they would trade him.
I agree with you 100% on that one. That's they should.
They
He's
should.
playing very well right now.
They should.
Get him out of there. Play Toppin. Get some young players for him, and get some maybe a pick or two.
Yeah.
That's the smart thing to do. But they won't do that because the head coach loves Julius Randle, and as long as Thibodeau's there, he's not going to let Randle go. That's his go-to guy on offense.
But I just want to know how Randy feels about that. I got to ask him.
I mean, I'm sure they probably want some young players too. I'm surprised that it's just picks. I figure it'd be young players like a Quickly, like a Toppin, or maybe even like a Grimes, or McBride, or Jericho Sims, or any of those guys. But I'm curious how that's going to go. Maybe it's just like them pondering back and forth, negotiating tactics until we get close to the deadline. But
I can't
we'll
wait for the deadline. I can't wait.
I got to drive back home. I don't want to be on here while I'm driving, but I want to just real quick to say to your question before I get off, and then I'll listen to you guys while I'm driving. But
appreciate it.
I know a lot of people, a lot of these fans say, oh, the Giants, they're obsessed with getting a wide receiver. These guys are going to go get Jones 1 or 2 wide receivers. But I think the bigger positions they're going to chase, and probably through the draft, is I think the Giants are going to add to the O-line a big piece, maybe a guard or a center. I would really like a real center. And in the first 2 rounds, they are 1,000% going to draft a top quality corner. There's no doubt about it. And I won't be shocked if they take the corner in the first round. I was praying, and I don't think he's going to get there, for Myers, the tight end from Notre Dame, to get to 25. But I have a feeling that this piece of shit Belichick is going to take him at 15 because that's what New England does. So I believe a corner, that corner from Penn State, I don't know if he'll be there, Porter, that guy's a beast.
Yeah, he is. Even the guy from Georgia, Ringo, I like a lot too. I think he'd be a very solid addition if we could find a way to get him. I would like an inside linebacker, to be honest. That kid Trenton Simpson from Clemson, that guy has got my eyes. Because we have needed a linebacker so badly in the inside of that defense, and that is a big reason why we were giving up so many damn yards up the middle. Besides the lack of defensive tackle depth we had, we need inside linebackers. And if you could get that Trenton Simpson kid out of Clemson in the first round, that's an instant upgrade to help out that defense.
They're going to draft a linebacker. We'll see if Edmonds can escape Buffalo also, because I believe they're going to go get a real linebacker in free agency. And remember, you got Beavers coming back, so it's like getting another pick out of the draft for free.
No, I hear you on that one, but it's very hard to put a lot of stock in a kid that's a 6th-round pick that is coming off a serious injury. Hopefully he can come back as a contributor, but Beavers, to me, I got to see this kid go out there and play before I consider him one of the answers on defense. I think he's going to be a good player. It's just it might take at least a year for him to fully come back from that injury. I mean, we know how it is with players. It takes them at least a year or so when they come back from an ACL. But luckily, if there's any solace in it, he got injured in preseason, so maybe he'll be a little bit more back during the season compared to a guy like Wandale who got hurt during the season. So we're not expecting a whole lot from Wandale in terms of his 2023. We'd be shocked if he comes back and has a strong season. But yeah, I would love a quarterback. Joey Porter Jr. is a guy I'm looking at too. Interior offensive line. We definitely need help there. I don't care about what you think about Azudu or McKeithen and these guys. They're coming off injuries. They're unproven rookies. You can't put a whole lot of stock in these guys coming in and immediately being the answers. You got to try to continue to overlap and draft over an offensive defensive line like the Eagles have done. Continue to draft on the lines. Do it season in and out. That's how you continue to have a successful franchise going forward. So we'll have to wait and see what happens. But I agree with you, Miz. Cornerback to me is a top priority. Dory Jackson, as good as he is, he gets hurt all the time. Aaron Robinson has gotten hurt as well. The dude is unproven. Fabian Moreau to me is a depth piece on the deep cornerback position. Flott, he showed signs towards the end. He's not the answer. Darnay Holmes, get him the hell out of here or make him a depth piece.
Holmes is gone. You take a middle round. If you see a real good defensive tackle in the second or in the third round, you take it because I don't know if Leo's going to be here long term. So you get another DT in there to rotate and have a future with Dexter. Leo has to take a big pay cut this year. He must. Sorry, there's no way around it.
I think he is. I think he's already said he's willing to take a pay cut because he wants to be on the team in 2023. So I think he will do that, honestly. So
you got to understand the pay cut he's taking. It's kind of a trick. He comes out there, tells you, I'm going to take a pay cut because I want to still be here. I love being the Giants and being in the area. Guess what? He's supposed to make $32 million this year, right? So by him saying I'm going to take a pay cut, he's going to accept $22 million, right? Guess what? There's no other team in the league that would pay him that $22 million. So in actuality, he's still getting away with a lot of money.
Yeah, he is. By the way, this is breaking news from Philly Halftime saying that D'Amico Ryans has emerged as the top candidate for the Houston Texans head coaching job, which might be a good sign that Kafka.
That means Jonathan Gannon is not going to Texans.
That means that Kafka might not get that head coaching job, and he might be back with the team. Which is a good sign.
I don't think Kafka would accept that head coaching job regardless. He might go for the interview, like I said, get the experience, go on the head coaching interviews, but that's not the kind of job you should just want. I'm going to run off after 1 year of somewhat success with the New York Giants offensive coordinator and go be the Houston Texans head coach. That's a recipe for disaster. You go there to die. That's one of those kind of franchises. You go there to absolutely die. There's nothing positive coming out of being the Houston Texans head coach if you look at the past history.
That's one way road out of the league.
Yeah. At least I can understand with Wink with Indy because that team's got a good defense and Wink could do something with that defense overall. So I can understand with Wink Martindale wanting to take the Indianapolis Colts job. If that team can finally get a damn quarterback, they're not that far away. They have players. They just need a quarterback and they need a more depth on that team. But they're not bad. And
they've listed three. They wasted the last 3 or 4 years fumbling around instead of just going out and drafting a quarterback and getting a guy in there and building them up. They've been trying to go on with Carson Wentz, I was going to say Ryan Leaf, Phillip Rivers, and Phillip Rivers and Matt Ryan this past season. Like, give me a break, man. Since Andrew Luck's retired, they've been just trying to fill that void with retreads. They got to go out there and draft a guy. That's going to happen this year. There's no way you can convince me the Colts are not taking a quarterback in the first round draft this year. That would be absolutely ridiculous if they didn't. So that's what the Colts problem is. The defense is on that football team. I mean, they got a running back. They got a stud running back. Good. They got a solid receiver in Pittman. They got a low-key decent defense too. Their defense is not that bad on the low. So they got a good offensive line overall. I mean, it didn't look so great this year, but I mean, they got some pieces on that team. They definitely got some value. They just need to get a quarterback in there and get ready and get that guy developed because that's what their biggest problem has been. They just keep fumbling on the quarterback situation.
So
what do you guys think
jump
about
over and
this?
listen, you guys. All right, sorry, I gotta take off. I'm gonna be listening.
Get home safely, bro. Thank you for hopping on.
All right, take care, man. But apparently Tua is still in concussion protocol, and he's not going to do any of the Pro Bowl activities.
I mean, if I'm Tua, I'd be worried about my future going forward. So I'm not
retire,
about the damn Pro Bowl.
He should be worrying about getting his health into 100%. But Matt, go ahead. You were going to talk about Alex's comments right here.
But it's fun, man. I agree 100%. I'm all about linebackers right now, man. I want to get some better corner play too. Address that as well. I mean, that kid from Penn State, you guys been talking about. I looked into him a little bit a couple days ago. Yeah, he is looking like a stud. You know what I mean? But at the same time, I'm tired of watching poor linebacker play on the New York Football Giants. This is a team I grew up with watching in the 80s and the 90s, and we had great linebacker play. Great linebacker play. And I'm tired of watching this mediocre shit that we've been seeing these last couple of years. Jalen Smith, he can make a play here and there, but he's not consistent. You saw that Eagles game. That was terrible, man. He had God, like I can't deal with more of that, man. I need to see. So I need to get that solidified for this New York Giant defense. Straight up, get that linebacker play, because the middle linebacker, that's your captain of your defense. That's your heart and soul of your defense. We need to get that shored up, and the New York Giants have been doing a poor job with that as well. I mean, Blake Martinez came in that first season of free agency, had a really good year, but then he got injured the next year. And then last year, obviously, now he didn't make the damn team, and he's retired. So we just gotta get that shored up, man. It's been lacking for too many years, man. You got to get that linebacker situation together. That's what I feel like is really holding this defense back as well. It's just you don't have competent linebacker play, just point blank and period.
No, I agree with you 100%. We need linebackers in here. But Adam, what's going on, bro?
What's up, fellas? How are you? Happy Friday.
Happy Friday to you too,
Hey,
bro.
Adam,
How you doing?
I am good. I will touch on some of the things you mentioned as I came in. The Colts. I wouldn't be surprised if, the Daniel Jones, he gets out of their price range and they go, hey, listen, Colts, we got Daniel Jones here. We'll trade you Daniel Jones for the 4th overall pick, and then they can go and get C.J. Stroud if they wanted to. That could be, because remember, they need a quarterback. Why not get one that's young enough to still be a rookie? Because there are some 25-year-old rookies coming out, and a guy that already has NFL experience, and away you go. That could be an option. Not saying it's going to happen, just a thought. Another guy for them that might be a thought is Trey Lance. He's going to need somewhere to land, and you probably don't have to give up as much as if you were to give up for Jones for Lance, because he's probably not going to be there next year. So that's what I would do with that if I was the Colts. The other thing is the linebacking core. I would love Tremaine Edmonds from the Bills if he's available. I'd pay an arm and a leg for that guy, because that would shore up your defense. You could then put Darian Beavers and Micah McFadden right next to him, and away you go. And then you could draft Tracy Porter Jr. in the first round.
What about a guy like T.J. Edwards from the Eagles? I know he's going to be a free agent as well, and Kaiser White. A couple of Eagles players that are going to be free agents that we might look at that could be potential additions to the linebacking core. If Edmonds is a little bit too much out of our price range. Like, what do you guys think about those two guys if they somehow make it to free agency? What's up, Tudo?
I think the familiarity with the Eagles linebackers will be because of Brandon Brown, so he'll have a deep diagnosis of what went on.
You can't call them stupid birds after beating you 3 times.
Well, we also have that. We also have the 6 games or 7 games that we've played or last couple of years against them. So we have in-depth knowledge, but more so with Brandon Brown, because he was scouting them as part of their player personnel department. He can say, hey, Wink, this guy fits in your defense. He fits in our salary price range, and we can pluck him from the Eagles and weaken that team. So which they're probably going to get rid of him anyway, since they got Nakobe Dean. So, you could probably have him for a reasonable salary and a guy that can come in and you already have familiarity with the assistant GM.
Yeah, I definitely believe we need to upgrade these linebacking cores, because for so many years we've just gone out there and we've drafted a bunch of projects from the mid rounds. We've brought in mid-tier free agents. We've never really brought in the type of resources you need to at the linebacker position that we did in the past, like in the 80s. I mean, remember, we haven't drafted a linebacker in the first round since 1980, like 1989, I believe, or 1987 when we drafted Carl Banks. So, I mean, this is ridiculous. Yeah, we need to draft a linebacker. I mean, you need to get your inside guys that are going to be the leaders, control that defense, get everybody set up in the positions they need to be. We haven't had a linebacker as impactful since we had Antonio Pierce in 2006. So we need
Oh, I
to
hated
get
Pierce.
some. I'm sorry, 2005. We need to get ourselves a guy in the middle of the linebacker position that can control the middle of that defense. And for God's sakes, we need a coverage linebacker. I'm so tired of tight ends that are beating us and going for 100-plus yard games against us every single game, every year.
Well, if you were to add TJ Edwards, you're adding about double the production that you're getting from Jalen Smith, because the production of Jalen Smith is 80 tackles. The production of TJ Edwards is 159 tackles. So right there, you're already getting an upgrade in what they do in terms of tackling. So Jalen Smith, I would not spend the bank on if you're going to bring him back. I don't think he has a future here, but if they are running out of resources or they need somebody on a pinch, I could see these guys brought back. If you want to bring in somebody like a TJ Edwards, I would be happy with that as well. Again, you weaken somebody else who, by the way, also drafted Kobe Dean and has a top 5 overall pick. So trust me, the Eagles aren't going to be like, hey, I'm sorry, TJ, we can't find your replacement. I'm sure they'll find them real quick.
Now, Adam, since we were just talking about earlier, myself, Mitch, Miz, and Mac, what would you do about the whole Saquon Barkley scenario? I mean, that he wants at least $16 million a year. Giants, he already turned down a $12 million, 12 per year deal with the Giants before. So, what would you do with the whole Barkley situation if you were the general manager?
I ain't paying him more than $12 million. Okay. I mean, you've been injury prone your last couple of years. Even this year, you didn't have the biggest of years. Let's be honest. You had a good year, but not anything to write home about with Saquon Barkley. So I think they settle on like 13. But that's as high as I go. I'm not going higher than 13 million a year. And if he doesn't want that, bye. See ya. There's a guy in the draft I can get in the second, third, fourth round who could probably produce. So we'll see.
Yeah, that Bijan Robinson kid looks pretty good over there in Texas.
But the thing is this too. Here's the other question, right? If you go out and trade for DeAndre Hopkins, you're not going to be able to pay Hopkins, Jones, and Barkley. So one of them has got to go, right? And so if you decide, because to me, I think the franchise tag is in play for either one, but most likely probably for Jones, because he'll probably try to test the market on the Giants. The Giants are going to need that. You can't franchise 2 players. So I mean, you could transition Daniel, but that's $28 million, but we'll see if that works out. But I'm just saying, the Giants have options. It's good options. If they franchise him, he's getting $12 million, and if he decides to franchise deal, it'll be a guaranteed $12 million. So we could always try that. I mean, that's always that longevity. But with Barkley, do you really want that? I mean, do you really want to, $14 million? Wow. Didn't Christian McCaffrey get 15?
I think he got $16 million a year, 2021 from the Panthers,
Yeah,
I believe.
I think it was 16.
That's what Barkley's looking at, is the $16 million per year.
You got to factor in, a cap-friendly deal, because he's been nicked up and tends to get banged up. Even this season, he got banged up. Right? He hurt his shoulder. So, was Mitch farting?
No, it's my microphone.
No.
No, it's my microphone. I fixed it.
So sorry.
It's okay.
No, all good. It's not the first time. It's all good.
The thing is just, I think, I'm not saying running backs are a dime a dozen, but a guy who's already getting beat up, going into his latter stages of his career, are you going to want to invest that much money? If you look at Buffalo, where they came from, they have a running back by committee kind of deal, and they if you're gonna feature Daniel Jones as a runner, is Barkley as important now with that, with DJ and a couple running backs? I don't know.
I still believe the most important players on this team that need to be signed immediately is Dexter Lawrence and Andrew Thomas. Those are the top 2 guys, in my opinion, that need to be here long term, especially after the seasons that they've had. They're both on the lines where you need to have your strengths on this team is on the lines, defensive and offensive lines. Andrew Thomas, to me, when it comes, he's number 1. He's the number 1 guy that's got to be here long term. Obviously, I don't think they're going to do it this season. They might do it during 2023, middle of the season, give him an extension if he's playing well and stays healthy. Dexter Lawrence, to me, and Max said it, we all said it, he needs to have that contract ripped up, that 50-year option, and give that dude an extension and pay him as one of the top defensive tackles in the league, because he deserves it. He's only 25 years old. He's going to get better. Give him a long-term deal. Take care of him. Then you could work on maybe giving a pay cut if he's willing to take it with Leonard Williams, knock his cap down, maybe you make a couple of long-term deals or restructures, extensions with other guys on this team if you want to keep them, lower some of their cap hits, and then it may make it a little bit easier to keep some of these other free agents that are on the market right now. I know a lot of other people disagree. I would like to keep Julian Love on this team. I do believe his versatility and his special teams play is very important to this team. I understand why we let him go. We have McKinney, who's going to be doing a long-term deal. You obviously have Dane Belton. Jason Pinnock played very well when we brought him in. So you can let Julian Love go. I believe that Love is important to this team, though. Him being a captain, his versatility on this team. It would be hard to let him go, but I get why you wanted not bring him back. Jahide Ward, even though he sort of tailed off towards the end, I think if you want to bring him back another 1-year deal, I do it. Knows the system. If Wayne's here, obviously, a guy that's going to be, familiar with the defensive coordinator. So there are guys that I would like to try to bring back as well besides Jones and Barkley, but it all just depends on what Jones and Barkley are going to get on the market. And like you said, if Hopkins is traded for, or if, God forbid, you trade for T. Higgins, that dude is going to get an extension. And you cannot pay Daniel Jones, Saquon Barkley, and if you trade for and pay T. Higgins all big-time money, you're putting way too much money on just those 3 guys alone, and it's going to suffer in terms of your cap going forward.
Well, look at Alex's comment down there with the guys. He said the guys who are getting $12 million are Cook, Henry, Mixon, Jones, Chubb, and Kamara. Well, and if you look at that right now, Henry is probably better than Barkley. Mixon is going to his second AFC Championship game. I don't know who Jones is. Chubb's been pretty good. And then, you have Elliott.
Aaron Jones. I'm in Green Bay.
Yeah, Aaron Jones, running back of Green Bay.
He's getting $12 million. My God.
Yeah.
I wouldn't pay him that much money. But listen.
Scrub at him.
Yeah, he's pretty good. He's a good dual threat running back.
Yeah, I mean, listen. I don't watch Green Bay enough to make opinion, but I just think $12 million for Jones, is good. He's dual threat, but like I said, Henry's better than Barkley. Arguably, the guy who's getting paid here overpaid here is Elliott right now.
Oh God, yeah, absolutely. He's getting what, 18? I thought he was getting like 18 million. He's only getting 15.
Well, Cook, I feel, is undervalued because they don't utilize him correctly in Minnesota.
I would not be shocked if Dalvin Cook gets if they try to rework that deal and maybe give him a higher base salary because of how he's played. I mean, but we all know Barkley wants to reset the market. That's what every player in the next offseason wants to do is they want to reset the market.
Barkley literally said he does not want to do that. So he's not looking to do that. He said.
Do you believe
I'm
him though?
looking to reset the market. I'm not looking to change the market. I mean, look, I believe him. I don't know about whoever his agents are and what they may try to manipulate and try to do and get done. I believe the words coming out of his mouth personally, but like I said, these guys have agents that handle their business as well too. You know
I'm
what
not
I
sure
mean?
about that either. Because guys talk all the time. Yeah. I mean, we don't know what his numbers are. If he already turned down $12 million, which is market value, according to Alex's numbers here, Cook, Henry, Mixon, Jones, Chubb, Kamara, those guys are a little bit more featured in their offenses than Barkley is, and have more longevity in terms of their injuries. I mean, Henry's been in out of the lineup, but he still went for 1,000 yards, still was a beast.
Hey, Raph.
Hello.
But I mean, see, this is difficult because the problem is we still have so many holes on this team that need to be filled, especially with our depth. Obviously, the draft is where we're going to probably fill out a good amount of our depth and look for maybe a top cornerback, get a inside linebacker, some inside offensive line help, maybe get a wide receiver or so. But our depth is so just detrimental right now. It's bad, and it was evident when we played against the Eagles. I mean, we got destroyed on those lines, and a lot of it had to do because we don't have the good enough depth on our defensive line and our roster altogether, is that we're playing guys as starters that the Eagles would pretty much have as their backups to backups out there. So that's the one thing, is that I know Joe Shane has said he wants to try and focus on bringing in his own, and he said he wants to trickle in and facilitate free agent signings and draft picks with his main guys on this team. But it all just depends on what this market is going to be dictating when we get to the offseason, because there's a lot of good running backs hitting the free agent market this year. Barkley, Miles Sanders, Kareem Hunt, Josh Jacobs, Pollard, if he's coming back from his injury, he's another top running back. Who's to say that all these guys don't try to gauge what each one of them are going to make into the free agent market and gauge what they might make overall before they decide to sign a long-term deal? So, I mean, maybe a bunch of them will get tagged, but you never
Hunt's
know.
not
I
coming
mean,
here.
Yes, it is.
Hunt's definitely not coming here.
no, I'm just saying in terms of free agent value. In terms of
Right.
market,
I'm just saying if that's one of the guys we're thinking about replacing Barkley with, he has too much baggage for John Mara to bring him here. But, like you said, we'll see. It's a fascinating offseason. Go ahead, Raph. Sorry.
Yeah, and I was talking about the New York Giants because when they speak about the defensive linemen, they had to focus on primarily on the interior defensive line, because the defensive game is playing flag outside for the linebacker, edge rushers on each side, or one or two defensive tackles, because there were fewer defensive linemen on the field. It made certain players less value than originally thought, because that group probably valued to the defense success that season. So they just accounted by 174 tackles, 13 sacks, 70 tackles for a loss, and 45 quarterback hits. So those are good numbers when you had to consider the main purpose to eat block inside to provide the linebackers with one-on-one matchups to open to run through. But overall, the performance was more acceptable about the defense. But even though the depth was not very ideal, the interior versatility had the defense together on his first season under the coordinator Wick Martindale. So, and speaking about the Dexter Lawrence, he finally had the type of season that had many excited about his potential when the Giants selected him at the 70th overall in the 2019 draft. And after he spent the 3 seasons playing the 4-tech defensive and in the 30th round, he was more like in a more mature, natural position inside as a nose guard, because his speed and power made a problem per interior offensive lineman across the NFL.
All right. No, I don't disagree with you, Raphael, what you said about Dexter Lawrence and the fact that he was in a better position overall. I think because he was positioned better, and that's the reason why he had a bigger season, because this dude is more at inside, nose tackle type player, and the Giants try to play him on the outside of defensive end when that made no sense. He's just a better fit in this Wink Martindale defense than he was with Patrick Graham's, or even, I guess, James Betcher's defense when he was originally first drafted in 2019.
Well, Betcher, he played more of what he did now. He wasn't as in Patrick Graham's defense. However, they moved him to defensive end, more of the Chris Canty role when Chris Canty played for the Cowboys back in the day. The problem is that, again, that's not what his body type is built to do. And I think there's a reason why Leonard Williams is not having a good year, is because, remember, in Patrick Graham's defense, he was a defensive end. And a guy at 300 pounds with cat-like reflexes like him, that works better to put him on an edge than what he's doing now in the interior, where he's getting beat down by bigger guards than he is. And I think the reason you're seeing his numbers go down, and I think his money is going to have to come down, is he's not playing in the 3-4. Leonard Williams is ideal for the 3-4, right? But he's not ideal for the 4-3. Because he is skinnier on the inside, right? So what you need is, if you want to play an ideal 4-3 defense, you need a big look at the Giants of old. They had Robert Harris, Keith Hamilton, Michael Strahan, and Chad Bratzke, right? Keith Hamilton was the knifer. He was kind of the guy that Leonard Williams should be. And then you have Robert Harris, who was more of the Dexter Lawrence type. Or if you want to go Cornelius Griffin with Keith Hamilton, those type of guys. That's what you need in a 4-3. In a 3-4, what you would do is you would normally put Dexter Lawrence in the middle and then put Leonard Williams on the outside. What the Giants did was they put Austin Johnson in the middle and put Dexter Lawrence and Leonard Williams on the outside. So you have beef up front, but you lack the speed and power of a normal 4-3 defense. Now, if they want to do a hybrid thing, all I would say is always keep Dexter Lawrence in a D-tackle position, whether that's the 3 technique or the 4 technique, doesn't matter to me. Just keep him over those guards and centers, because that's where he can utilize his strength and his leverage. Against outside guys, against tackles, tackles are faster. They have more foot speed. So even though he has power, you can make up for the power of the foot speed, right? So
Mm-hmm.
Leonard Williams is a little different. If you watched him last year, he did his best job standing up when he didn't have to look in the dirt, right? And he would just run around guys and get sacks. That's his 11 sack season came because he was moved out there. 6.5 sack season came because he's out there. This year, a lot tougher. He's getting beat down because he's getting more double teams. Guys are coming downhill. His job isn't really to be a run stopper. It's more of a penetrator and a disruptor.
And he was ascended for a quality defensive lineman to one of the most dominant defensive linemen in the league. But also all through this under contract in 2023 and the option year, his rookie deal, he has to set out for himself for a big payday. And he was proved that he should be a cornerstone of the Giants' defensive future. But not only Dexter Lawrence had been like a defensive lineman, but also the future of Leonard Williams is now very clear because that season he played more free technique than another other season in the league because his veteran leadership has great among the younger players on the defensive front. He'll be only 29, but he's 32 million cap probably isn't a good number for a Giants who want to carry more forward. But if they were to cut him, it will cost more than 20 million in that money. The most likely scenario is that Giants will lack a couple years to deal like the contract with Leonard Williams to lower that cap while ensuring that it continues to pair with Lawrence to form the best interior defense line duos in the NFL. But I just added one time Justin Ellens for the Baltimore Ravens to provide more depth to the run defense.
Oh, you mean Mr. I'm going to get thrown down by
Jelly
Jason Kelsey? Yeah.
Jelly
that dude.
No, that guy's a speed bump in a road. We're getting run over by defensive linemen.
And also he has a familiarity with Wake Martindale defense. Who had to learn the system.
Well, he knows the system. He was already with the Ravens. He just needs to get in shape. That's what he needs to do. Because he ain't got no muscle. He looks like a jolly old fat man who shouldn't probably play football. Like, listen, there's nothing wrong with his physique, but it's just not a football physique right now. It's a guy that, should not be on this team next year. He provided nothing. I don't even know how many tackles he had. Maybe a half a sack. I mean, I need a guy who's going to cut like DJ Davison. Clearly, DJ Davison outplayed him, but because of his knee injury, he was put on IR, and he had to use Jelly Ellie more down the stretch. I think if DJ Davison comes back, Justin Ellis will be out of here.
No, I agree with you. I don't think Justin Ellis is coming back here anyway. I think the Giants are going to seek better defensive tackle upgrades to at least, help give a little bit of a breather to Dexter Lawrence and Leonard Williams. And that was one of the biggest problems with this team in the interior defensive lines. They just had no proven depth out there to allow these guys to get any type of breaks. You look at Philadelphia, they were able to rotate guys constantly in and out of their lineup to be able to keep everybody fresh going down the end of the season. So that's why, like, you see all these guys getting 10 double-digit sacks. Earl, what's going on, bro?
Hello,
Good afternoon
Earl.
to you too, Earl. I'll see you tomorrow for the Royal Rumble show. So, but
oh yes, I can't wait.
We all cannot wait for that. And Adam, myself, and Mac were just talking about that a little bit earlier, talking about the Royal Rumble. I mean, we could talk wrestling if you guys want to talk wrestling too. It's not just a football.
I got
podcast.
my predictions ready.
I mean, I'm open to talk about wrestling as well if you guys want to. It's up to you.
Yeah, it's all good. We can talk about whatever you want. I'm just saying, I think you're right about the D-line rotation. I think that's what we need to focus on is getting another edge rusher in here, getting another D tackle. I mean, when Azeez was out, nobody came to play. I mean, O'Shane Ximines had a game in the beginning of the year where he looked good, but then that was about it. We haven't heard from him. So if I were the Giants, I would be looking into potential backup edge rushers. I know you talked about Jihad Ward. He is a guy that, is not necessarily ultra valuable, but he's also not easy to find, so to speak. So there are some guys in the draft that can replace him. But again, the draft is not a guarantee, so you may want to assign him and have him get cut. Like you sign him, hey, he's here, we draft a guy. If the rookie's better than he is, then we cut Jihad Ward, in the cut days. If not, we have our guy here and he can get developed. I think what you said is correct. I think we have many holes past our starters. And I really think there's only really like 5 or 6 guys in this entire team that I want to keep here long term right now. I mean, outside of the first draft class that came through. But for the rest of the roster, outside of the draft class, I don't know. We have 20 guys who are going to be free agents, and that's a lot of guys, man.
This team's going to go through a major turnover. But Mac, what do you think? You've been now sitting there, pondering about this whole situation. So,
I mean, like I said, like I already said, I want these guys figure out what the priorities are going to be, make these moves. Like I said, make their moves, and like I said, as long as they continue to do what's best for the New York Giants, that's all I want. I just want to see how this plays out because it's a lot of, once again, like last offseason, a lot of unknown in the sense. Like Adam just said, we got a lot of free agents. They got to figure out which guys they want to keep, which guys they're willing to just let go, test the market, and walk away. I mean, that's what it's going to come down to. At the end of the day, some guys are going to be priorities. And we're talking about a guy like Jahad Ward. A guy like Jahad Ward, for what it's worth, is a great depth piece to be a part of the football team, as well as what he provides to the locker room. You can't also forget about that as well. Leaders in the locker room, man, that does mean something too. That stands for something as well. Guys that are respected in that locker room, and he's definitely one of those guys. So you don't want to have to depend on a guy like Jahad Ward to be your main guy, your top guy. Like you definitely don't. That's problematic. That's when things can become problematic with guys like that. But for what it's worth, he is a good depth piece to have around and be a part of this football team. And the fact that he does know Wink's defense very well, it only helps his cause. So I would definitely be okay with bringing a guy like him back. Now, like I said, like you said, O'Shane Ximines, go get whatever you can get from somebody else, bro. I'm tired of the O'Shane Ximines experiment. It did start off pretty well this season. And for what it's worth, he maybe extended his career based off of his play this season. You know what I mean? He'll get a couple other opportunities. Probably never as a starter or a main guy on anybody's roster, but at the same time, we don't need to be spending more money paying guys like O'Shane Ximines. So people like him, I'm okay with guys like that walking and testing the market. I know how you feel about Julian Love, Jeff, but at the same time, a guy like that, you got to think about it, like him, Xavier McKinney, these guys, and then any other people you may be drafting. It's a business at the end of the day, man. And Julian Love, you got to go let him test the market and see what he can get, man. And see, he might have to do that with a guy like him as well, man. I mean, I appreciate his service, appreciate what he's done, but you got, like I said, it's going to come down to who they figure out are priorities on this team and who's not, and we're going to find that out probably in the next upcoming weeks. Who they're making a priority. Because at the end of the day, when free agency does start, most likely you want to start off by by taking care of your own guys, the ones you really want to commit to, and taking care of them and locking those guys up. So we're going to find out within the next month or so, and start finding some things out when the smoke starts to clear.
Well, you said a few things there that I'd like to continue on. You're on the right track here. First off, it's going to be about the Giants will have some money now, so maybe they'll want to upgrade some of those guys that could be brought back, like an O'Shane Ximines. Maybe there's a guy in the free agent market who might give you more value, so you may pay him because you have a deeper pocket. You're not guaranteed in the draft as much to get the same, but that could be your thought process. The other thing is, with the guys on the roster, you have Justin Pinnock, you have Dane Belton, you got this guy Burgess you just signed who could play safety. You also had Tony Jefferson. Will those guys be enough to fill in for Julian Love? And if they are, then you can let Love walk.
Yeah,
pretty much.
That's absolutely true. I mean, we'll have to wait and see. It's going to be a lot of decisions to make this offseason, and we're all just waiting to see what the Giants are going to do. But as we all know, even though we're eliminated, there are two big football games that are going to be happening this weekend. One of them obviously being, as our guy over here, Earl, just says, who has more to gain, the Eagles and the 49ers. But what do you guys think about these conference championship games between the Kansas City Chiefs and Cincinnati Bengals, as well as the Philadelphia Eagles and San Francisco 49ers?
Well, I think this Eagles and 49ers game on Sunday could be literally one of the best conference championship games we've had in a long time. In a long, long, long time. I mean, this game here, you're putting up, these are like, ideally, like I mentioned on the show, on my show on Wednesday, me and Adam's show, Wednesday, that this is what it all comes down to. This is what it's all about as a football fan, for real. I mean, we're all obviously, we're Giant fans, other than Mitch and Raphael, obviously, but we're Giant fans here. At the end of the day, the reality is, as football fans, This is what it comes down to: the two best teams in the conference slugging it out for a Super Bowl berth, and that's what we got here on Sunday. The two best teams in the conference. You got two very good defenses. You have two very good offenses. One's led by a potential MVP, Jalen Hurts. The other one's led by Mr. Irrelevant, Brock Purdy, a guy who was the last pick in the draft. Every NFL team looked over Brock Purdy, except for the 49ers with that final pick of the draft, and now look where it's getting them. Brock Purdy has absolutely elevated the 49ers offense. He's turned George Kittle back into an all-pro tight end again. It's just what you're saying is it's something special, man, and it's something I'm glad as a football fan to be able to witness. Like I said, obviously I would rather see my Giants out there, but at the end of the day, at least what we're getting is some very good football. And as far as the AFC Championship goes, it's tough to see that we're not going to get a 100% Patrick Mahomes out there on Sunday. I think that's going to be a difference in the game, to be quite frank. But I think that can still be a very good football game as well. But I think Cincinnati definitely has an edge now with Patrick Mahomes just not being healthy.
Who Dey Nation's coming out big on Sunday as they upset the Kansas City Chiefs because the Bengals are back. Okay, they went to the first championship game. They think they beat the Chiefs last year. They're going to the Arrowhead again. They're going to beat the Chiefs again this year. Okay, and it's something to be said about experience. This team lets nothing faze them. They had a Baltimore team that was feisty. Bang, they beat that team. They met a Buffalo team. They should have put up a better fight. Bang, nipped them. Didn't even make a game of it. Now they're going to Arrowhead with basically nothing left, nothing to lose. Right? They're not supposed to be here. They weren't supposed to be here at the beginning of the year. People wrote them off. They said, "Oh, well, the Bengals are going to have a Super Bowl hangover and blah blah blah. They're not going to be it again." Well, guess what? They're on the doorstep of going again. As Mac found out on Wednesday, and my second favorite team in the NFL is the Bengals. So I'm rooting for Joe Burrow and Joe Cool to get it done on Sunday with a compromised Mahomes. Now, I don't know how injured he is, but if I'm Lou Amarillo and Zach Taylor, I'm saying I'm looking at each other and going, "Yo, bring the house, bring everybody." From Cincinnati, Ohio, you take the people from Cleveland. You can take them from wherever else you want. The College of Ohio State. Take them all and bring everybody because I want to test that leg. I want to make sure that he knows that we're coming and that we're going to listen. That's what they did in the '90s. If you had a bad leg, I'm coming after your leg, man. I'm going to make sure you can play on that leg. As for the Eagles and 49ers, it's not the most classic matchup the NFL would want, and that's not that the Eagles aren't a classic franchise, but if you go in the history of the NFL, when you see the 49ers, you want a big team next to them. 49ers, Giants, 49ers, Cowboys, 49ers, Packers. 49ers, Eagles doesn't draw the same mystique, but I think it should be a fun game nonetheless in Philadelphia. Let's see if Philadelphia can punch their ticket. They have a history with championship games. Tampa Bay closed them out in their field a few years ago, in the vet in a championship game. So we'll see, man. I mean,
Yeah, I saw that, Joe's. They signed David Sills back.
I think the 49ers have the better team. They said who has the most to gain. It'd be the Eagles have the most to gain. The history of the 49ers, they already have 5 in the bank, and they've been there a couple more times as well. Actually, do they have 5? I think they have 6.
They have 5
in the
they
bank.
have 5.
Well, didn't they win against Baltimore? Oh, no, they lost to Baltimore.
Yeah.
They lost to Baltimore. And
that's 6. That is 5. You're right, 5. Yeah, they lost to Baltimore.
Yeah, because they lost in the Harbaugh Bowl.
Right. They lost to Baltimore when the lights went out, and then they lost to Mahomes and the Kansas City Chiefs that year. So they've been 7 times. So they have a history of being there. The Eagles have been to the Super Bowl 3 times in their history and won once. So it's not a team that frequents in the big dance. So I think more to gain would be Philadelphia, because they'll be getting another Lombardi possibly added to their closet. Sorry, I almost choked on my words there. I don't want to put that into the airspace because God forbid that happens.
They were not going so well on the stream.
Oh man. Man, but I'll get in timeout just for saying that. I should put myself in timeout.
No, it's okay.
But I'm rooting for the 49ers all the way. This will be a true test for Brock Purdy because they haven't had a guy. They struggled against the Cowboys defense. Let's see how they do against this defense where they're going to bring the heat. 40 sacks amongst the front four, 70 as a group, as a defensive group. We'll really see if Brock Purdy is the real deal here.
Well,
if he
here's the
plays
thing.
a good game and they lose.
I was going to say, I'm sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off. I was going to say with the 49ers, though, I think will do, though, that other teams may not do, don't do enough against the Eagles, is that they're going to commit to the run game. They're going to hit them with everything. They're going to hit them with, like I said, McCaffrey. They're going to hit them with Elijah Mitchell. They're going to hit them with Deebo Samuel. They're going to commit to the run game and probably take some of that pressure off of Brock Purdy. Because the 49ers are a good team. I can't imagine them having any other game plan other than to go out there and try to run that football down the Eagles' throat.
Well, I think the Cowboys are a better defensive matchup to the 49ers than the Eagles are. But we'll find out. The Eagles' vulnerability is they're up the middle in the run game, but if they've been better at that. I can see a heavy dose of Ndamukong Suh, a heavy dose of Linval Joseph in this game, stack in the box. What the Eagles, my game plan, if I'm the Eagles, is put 9-10 in the box. Make sure you say, all right, you want to try to run on us? We're going to stop that. Make Brock Purdy beat us. Mac just said, Brock Purdy has elevated the 49ers. Well, guess what? I'm going to make sure that he comes through with that. And if that means I have to give up a few big plays, I paid money for these two corners. I paid money for Darius Big Play Slay, and I paid money for James Bradbury, right? So if you believe in those guys, you can afford to move guys around in that front seven and in that with those safeties to kind of go up and get, give you some help, because that's what I would do. I'd say, listen, I'd sit down Bradbury and Slade, like, look, I need you guys here. I need lockdown corner. We're going to play press man the entire way until they, start to beat us with the run game. If they beat us over the top, then we'll go back into zone. But from right now, I'm trusting you guys. You're the two best corners on our team, arguably the best tandem in the NFL. This is what you paid them for.
I actually think one of the biggest X factors in this game could be the slot receiver, and that's Jauan Jennings. I think this guy has become one of those big play guys. He might not go out there and get you the big-time stats, but when they need to get a play over the middle of the field, Purdy seems to be going to number 15 a lot to make those big plays in the slot. So, and I don't know what Avonte Maddox's status is right now for the Eagles, but obviously you're going to have Slay and Bradbury try to covering mostly against Ayuk and Deebo Samuel. So you got to look for a guy like Jauan Jennings over the middle of the field in that slot receiver role as that sneaky guy that can go out there and make some big plays, because he's not the one guy they're going to be concentrating on the defensive side for Philadelphia. And especially if Avonte Maddox, even if he does play, he's not going to be near 100%. So you got to figure that he's going to be have a good one, Adam. Have a great weekend, bro.
See you guys.
Either way, I mean, I do believe that Jauan Jennings could be an X factor in this game for the San Francisco 49ers. And for the Eagles, I'm going with Boston Scott. That backup running back, because I think that this guy could be utilized in certain ways.
He's not playing the Giants.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah, that's exactly what I was saying.
I think this guy's got something in his tank to be able to make off some plays. If not him, this could be Kenneth Gainwell.
I think it's going to be Gainwell, honestly.
Gainwell impressed me, because I don't know if it's just because the Giants could not tackle that game, but that dude was running hard up the middle, and being able to pick up some of those big plays. So I'm going to say that Gainwell could be an X factor on the Eagles' offensive game so far. So what do you guys think? What are your X factors in the NFC game? Then we'll go to the AFC.
For the AFC, oh my God. For the 49ers, it's tough. You know what? I'm going with Kittle. I think Kittle's going to have a good game. He's one of the best tight ends in the league. And Juice, you know what's funny? Put that back up. He hates the Pelicans, but he has a Zion profile picture in a Pelicans jersey.
Oh,
He'll be fine. He does this all the time where he hates.
I know. I'm used to it. But
fine.
I gotta go with Kittle, because him against the Eagles linebackers, that's a matchup to watch out for. And just for the offense or the defense?
Doesn't matter. Just an X factor in the game if you want to pick.
Gotcha. All right, then. Well, I don't know what that was, but Hassan Reddick. I'm going to go with Hassan Reddick here. 16 sacks. The guy knows how to get to the quarterback, and Brock Purdy doesn't know what's going to hit him.
Where's he going to line up, though? Is he going to line up against Trent Williams, or is he going to line up against Mike McGlinchey?
I think it's going to be who's on the left side. Trent.
That's Trent Williams. So he's the best left
I think
tackle
he's
in
gonna be
football
Trent.
right now.
I think it's going to be Trent. That'll be a great matchup, though. That'll be a good matchup. Yeah, I'm going with Reddick.
What do you think, Mac? Who do you think are going to be the X factors for each team in that game? Guys you don't expect.
Well, I mean, I wasn't really going to go necessarily any particular guy because these guys, the part of what makes both of these two teams so great is all of their talent. So you're going
Right.
to get a dose of everything that these guys have to offer. So it's hard to single out an X factor as far as from players are concerned because you just never know with these two teams. There's always so many different guys. They hit you with so many different things. But I was just going to say the X factor of the game in general is just whoever wins the turnover battle in this game is going to win. Whoever.
Oh, yeah.
Whichever one of these two, that's what it's going to come down to. Is which
Yeah.
one of these two teams
Yeah.
can play the cleanest football. And whichever one wins the turnover battle is going to win this football game. Because these are two, as far as I'm concerned, very evenly matched football teams, very talented football teams. And it's going to come down to those kind of things is who can protect that football and take care of that football the best. And whoever does that is going to win. I mean, you got, like I said, you got Hassan Reddick rushing off that edge for the Eagles. You got Nick Bosa, who's probably going to win Defensive Player of the Year. Guy predicted way back in the summertime, coming off that edge for the 49ers. These teams are so loaded with talent. It's going to come down to who can play the cleanest football, man. Turnovers and penalties and mistakes, just in general. Who makes the fewest is going to be the one that comes out on top.
No, I agree with you 100%. I think that turnovers are always going to be a key into every single football game, but special teams could also be a factor too. How each team's special teams is able to contribute in this game. Both teams have got very good place kickers. I don't know how the 49ers are in terms of their punt and kick coverage as well as the return game. I mean, Ray McLeod is an okay returner. I know the Eagles fans have been talking about how bad their special teams have been. Not named Jake Elliott.
I think they edge us in special teams.
Yeah, so we always know, and Mac, we know personally because when we won that game against the 49ers back in 2011, what was one of the biggest X factors in that game? It was special teams. When Kyle Williams dropped that punt.
Special teams play.
Exactly. So special teams always finds a way to rear its ugly head in one of these games. So that's what I'm curious to see is what kind of special teams are these teams going to be able to display, and what it also could come down to field position and time of possession as well. But I'm just going to read these comments real quickly, and then Raphael. Go ahead, Mac.
Say Juice real
Oh
quick.
man,
I gotta just
Yes.
break the news down to you. If the Niners win this game on Sunday and Brock Purdy has another great performance, I'm sorry, he's stealing that Offensive Rookie of the Year award from Kenneth Walker, man. It's just how it's gonna go down. He's a quarterback. That's simple, man. Sorry.
Yeah, I actually was going to say Garrett Wilson, but you can go.
I was going to say
Garrett
David
Wilson was
Pierce.
great. He got hurt though, so I don't know if that
Right,
might hurt him
never
a little
mind.
bit.
Yeah.
Then I got to go with Garrett
Who are
Wilson.
the three finalists is Kenneth Walker, Brock Purdy, and who else? Garrett Wilson's the
Is
other
it Garrett
finalist?
Wilson?
It's down to three finalists.
I think-
I'm
Yeah,
not sure if it's
I
Garrett. I
thought-
know Brock Purdy and Kenneth Walker are two of them. I can't remember who the other one is.
Do you think it's I mean, Brock Purdy came in so late in the season. Do you think that's not really because he missed a lot? He didn't play a lot of the season. That maybe
It's because he's Is he undefeated while he was playing?
Yeah, he's undefeated. He hasn't lost a game, and the impact that he's had. I mean, this team, the 49ers, could have folded. Third string quarterback,
True.
Mr. Irrelevant, they could have folded. He's got this team in the damn conference championship, one game away from the Super Bowl. So
No, you're right.
I feel
You're
like
right. I didn't even think about that.
he gets that accomplished. I don't see how they
It's
how
gonna
they give it to
end.
anybody
It's
else.
gonna end on Sunday. It's gonna end on Sunday.
Yeah, well, we'll have to wait and see. We'll have to wait and see about that one. You never know with these football games. Jalen Hurts
Hey,
could
we're
also.
gonna tell the Cowboys how to beat the Niners.
All I'm going to say is you guys are very confident right now, but this 49ers team is really good. They could
I
smack
know.
you right in the mouth.
I know,
too.
but where do we edge?
You know how
Where
you
do
guys
the
told us
Eagles edge? Quarterback.
that you guys weren't the Vikings last week. We heard that all week that you guys weren't the Vikings. The 49ers ain't
Yeah,
us
we wanted
either.
the Vikings.
The
Yeah,
49ers ain't
49ers are
us
not
either.
us. Yeah.
So
Wait,
There were
Keep
some of
that
you
in
guys that
mind,
were
man.
saying that, man.
Both of you were talking at the same
Yeah,
time.
yeah,
No, Mitch, there were
I think
fans
that's
saying
the
that.
one that happened.
I'm
There were-
okay.
There were fans saying that because we weren't the Vikings, you guys aren't the Vikings, that we had no chance against you. But Mac makes a good point.
Yeah.
We're not the 49ers. You guys are playing
know
a
that. I said
way
that.
better team.
I
Way
said
better
that,
team.
but where do we edge out?
Quarterback?
Quarterback, yes.
I mean, Purdy's playing terrific right now.
Wow.
So
He's playing good, but come on, Jalen Hurts MVP
They're
type of year.
inconsistent.
Brock Purdy only played half.
well, that's over the course of the whole season. We're talking about from the point that Brock Purdy stepped on the field. I'm not giving Jalen Hurts this big, huge edge over him from that time. Now, of course, the whole season, Jalen Hurts, obviously, but from the point that Brock Purdy stepped on the field for the 49ers and what he's done, I'm not giving Jalen Hurts this big, massive edge over him right now. Currently, I'm talking about in this moment. I'm not saying Brock Purdy's better than Hurts either. People don't come on.
No.
Think I'm
Don't
just
worry,
saying
Mac. They're going to
that
start running with that soon.
in this moment.
Not the Giants fans
In
said
this
that Brock Purdy's
moment,
better.
and over the course,
Okay.
in the course of
You know
these
they're gonna run with
games,
it.
in the course of these games being played right now, it's not like Jalen Hurts has got some major edge over Brock Purdy right now because Brock Purdy's got that 49er offense cooking.
Yes,
got
he
it
does.
cooking.
Well, Christian McCaffrey beats out Miles Sanders.
Oh.
Then you go to the wide receivers, Debo or AJ Brown. That's a toss-up. I think that's arguably a toss-up. Then you go to the second wide
I still
receiver.
give it to
Ayuk.
AJ Brown
Yeah.
as much as I love Debo.
You
Yeah,
taking AJ?
I take
Yeah, I
AJ.
agree. Yeah.
Okay, then what about Smith and Ayuk?
That might actually be a toss-up. Ayuk's really
I
good
think
too.
that might be a toss-up, but I got to go with Devontae Smith. He has over 1,000
I'd
yards.
give DeVonta Smith
Maybe.
the edge too because I think Devontae Smith is legitimately a number one receiver on most teams in this league, and
Yes.
I wouldn't necessarily say that about Ayuk. So
It is.
Now for the tight ends, I got to go with Kittle over Goddard.
Kittle's
I got to
better.
go
Yeah.
Kittle.
yeah,
Now for the offensive lines,
Kittle's all pro again this year.
Mm.
yeah, Kittle's
Yeah,
arguably
and
the
I
best
think
tight
the
end in the
line is
league.
better overall.
Arguably.
Mm.
Yeah. Then when you go to the offensive lines, it's the Eagles over the Niners.
Mm.
For the defensive line,
Yes, it is.
that's tough.
I give you the edge because I think you have more depth than they do.
I was just going to say that, yeah.
Your depth is better on the defensive line, outside linebacker, than 49ers. 49ers are
Uh-huh.
terrific, but I believe that you guys have a better rotation of players compared to what San Francisco guys. They got Bosa, they got Armstead, they got Kinlaw. They got good players on that D-line.
They're good.
Zukoba,
Yeah,
I forget his name.
yeah.
He's good too.
Mhm.
But you guys, I think, have the better defensive line, but linebackers, it's them. Not even I think they're the better
Linebackers,
Yeah,
yeah.
exactly.
Greenlaw and
Linebackers is
Warner
them.
are
Secondary, it's us. I feel like secondary is us.
Mm-hmm.
You
Yep.
agree with that? I
All right,
think
well,
it's
if you
secondary
guys
is us.
need any clarity on this one, breaking news: Patrick Mahomes will play. I mean, if we all pretty much knew that.
Okay.
So
It doesn't surprise me. It doesn't surprise me.
how well he plays, we'll find out. But I mean, I'm going with this is
Oh
going to be
my
my Super
God,
Bowl.
Juice.
I'm
McCaffrey's a
going with-
bomb. Kamara over McCaffrey.
Howie Roseman
I
is
mean,
the reason. Yeah.
Talk to me when Kamara's actually, is he going to be in jail? Or is he still in that legal case?
I think he's still
Okay.
in the case. I'm going with Bengals 49ers as my Super Bowl since the Bills got eliminated.
Of course.
I just think
Of
no,
course.
because I picked the 49ers from the beginning. I did. I think they're the best team in the NFC. And
It'll
until
be the
Purdy
third
actually
time
goes
the
out there,
Bengals and 49ers play Super Bowl that happens. It'll be the third Super Bowl
Bengals have
against
lost
the Bengals and
Yeah,
49ers.
Mhm.
And speaking about the Philadelphia Eagles versus 49ers, because they have both teams who dominated the line for scrimmage, the two teams line up. Because on one side they had the offensive line for the Eagles, like Jordan Maliata, Kelsey, Umalo, Johnson, versus the 49ers defensive line, which they had Ikubam, Kinlam, Armstead, Nick Bosa. But there's one factor that I would like to introduce, which is not Jalen Hurts, it's Jason Reddick. Because in that game, he was the fifth who specialized in coming after the quarterback, linebacker Jason Reddick. Because adding a pass rusher like Reddick to the Eagles already stalled the defense is one of those factors in the Eagles becoming class of the NFC this season. And he had a career in 2022. He had a personal best with 16 sacks, the second one in the NFL, and lead the league in forced fumbles with 5. He also added 49 tackles, 11 tackles for a loss, 3 fumble recoveries, and 3 passes defended for good measure. So that was good enough for Hudson Reddick. But he was initially struggled with the inside to roll this new team to put in, which led to Arizona Cardinals declining the 5th-year option ahead it. He broke out during the last year, and that's he was signed 1 year for the Carolina Panthers in 2021. And then he was signed off for the offseason for the Eagles for a 3-year deal. So he was especially the commented after the quarterback and the liner Hudson Reddick, which was a very good one. And I will say this because my prediction for the Super Bowl is going to be early. If it's going to be like Cincinnati Bengals versus Philadelphia Eagles. Because I will say that Patrick Mahomes is done because they needed like an opportunity to Joe Burrow to win the championship. I mean,
What's up, Bookends? How you doing, bro? Thank you for coming by the live stream. Sorry, go ahead, Raphael. You can finish your point.
I mean, my prediction is gonna be on Cincinnati Bengals versus Philadelphia Eagles because if you have like the intensity of the quarterback and of course the defense, the offense, I'm very sure there's going to be the projectable between Cincinnati Bengals versus Philadelphia Eagles for the Super Bowl. But remind everybody else, because they have to be careful about Brock Purdy, because he's very intense. I know he's been the last one at the draft, and he became more powerful, because after Jimmy Garoppolo's injury, they took over for Brock Purdy. So I don't think the Brock Purdy party is going to be like going insane. So I would choose the Eagles going to win against 49ers. It is not going to be easy at all. Not going to be easy, but I will say Eagles going to win for 2 points against 49ers. And, of course, Cincinnati Bengals going to win 30 versus Kansas City Chiefs 20 because, well, Patrick Mahomes is completely dumb because Alfred is going to be over and over and over. And because even though I don't like the Chiefs and, of course, the 49ers, I will say Joe Burrow is going to win the championship against the Kansas City Chiefs. So that's what I said. Super Bowl prediction, Bengals versus Eagles.
I can see it, but bookends, bro, that sucks. I mean, hopefully that problem can be solved pretty soon. I've seen that happen with, when you have your sewer lines clogged because of a storm that happens, broken branches and everything, and how much of a disgusting mess
Happened
that
to
is.
one of my neighbors.
Mm.
It's terrible, man. Sorry, you gotta go through that, bro.
Yeah, hopefully that gets solved and fixed up very soon for you, bro. I mean, I can't even imagine how much of a pain in the ass it is right now for you to deal with that. So, wish the best for you, bookends. But I'm picking the Cincinnati Bengals. I would have picked them regardless, but I think because Mahomes is not going to be 100%, and they could be playing kayfabe or anything like that he's really not as hurt as maybe they're trying to make. The media is making it believe he is. I still think that this Bengals team has they're just playing on such a high level right now on the football field, and a lot of people didn't expect this Bengals team. They already had them picked as like the 3rd or 4th best team in the West, and the AFC. They always thought Bills, Chiefs. Nobody really thought the Bengals had a chance to repeat. I just think Joe Burrow has quietly had a phenomenal season. To T. Higgins and Jamar Chase, both of them had again over 1,000 yards receiving, 2 1,000-yard receivers. Boyd is terrific as well. Mixon had another big season besides a couple of games he missed this year due to injury. Hayden Hurst has been an underrated player at the tight end position, taking over for C.J. Uzomah. I know their offensive line is a mess, but, I mean, they're getting that ball out quickly to their wide receiver. And they also I like their pass rush. I really do. Between B.J. Hill, D.J. Reader, and then Hendrickson and Hubbard. I've been screaming these two guys' names for over a year between Sam Hubbard and T.J. and Trey Hendrickson, how terrific these two guys are at the defensive end position. So I think that the Cincinnati Bengals on the defensive line is really going to make it a very big pain in the ass for Patrick Mahomes to be able to move around comfortably in the pocket. I just think the Bengals, this is going to be they're going to get back to the Super Bowl, and I really wonder if they're finally going to be able to capitalize, because this team, they've gotten their opportunities to get in the Super Bowl, but they've never been able to fully capitalize and bring that Lombardi Trophy home to Cincinnati. Maybe this is their year. We'll have to wait and see, but I'm taking Cincinnati. I just think that, especially with a compromised Patrick Mahomes, I just think that this is going to be their chance to get back to the Super Bowl and be able to rectify what happened last year.
I was just about to say, so I have the Bengals beating the Chiefs, and of course I have the Eagles beating the Niners, but I have a prediction here.
What's
Eli
that?
Apple will get burnt for 2 times against the Chiefs. I think Eli Apple will get burned twice.
I can see it. He sucks. I
I
mean,
I interviewed him last year. It was part of our network thing.
oh, he must have been so lucky.
I'm like,
That must have
oh,
been
I
a
interviewed.
stellar interview.
My videos are there. I'll send you guys that.
Was his mom present right next to him?
No, but his attitude was so like not even there. It was just like really bad. So I was just
Mac and I know he was on our team for a few years, and how his attitude was so wonderful. He's that's one of those picks that I will never let Jerry Reese get away with, because he played his cards. He played his cards right on the table during that draft when we had a chance to get Leonard Floyd or Jack Conklin that year. And he just stupidly played his cards on the table, made it known he wanted those 2 guys. And then what happens? The Bears trade up for Lloyd, the Titans trade up for Conklin, and then he panics and decides, we're going to take a raw quarterback from Ohio State, Eli Apple. And how did that turn out?
You know what's funny
Kid
too?
had
He's
never
from
even
my
washed his
area.
own load of laundry.
Yeah,
Eli
exactly. That's
Apple's
what you know
from my
right there.
area. He went to our like rival
Mom
school.
was still doing his laundry for him.
Yeah, I wouldn't even be surprised if his mom was paying his phone bill too.
She probably
That's when
still
you know
is.
this kid wasn't ready. Oh my god. I mean, that was a friggin' disaster. Eric Flowers, we talk about Eric Flowers as a disaster of a first-round pick. To me, it's Eli Apple. That's the one pick that still gives me nightmares. Thank God we got Sterling Shepard that year, so at least we got somebody of value
I mean, hey,
afterwards.
you could have got Rager one year, and you could have got Whiteside one year.
I'll take Rager and Whiteside any day of the week over Eli Apple. Not even
They're
close.
different positions.
I don't want
I
those
don't
guys
care.
Either. I don't want those guys either.
I don't want them either, but if I had to pick, Mac and Mitch, if I had to pick, I'm taking Whiteside and Rager over Eli Apple. I would, if I had to pick.
So you would take the Umbrella Man, because you're gonna laugh. So
He can block.
during a practice, right? Hassan Whiteside, our second Whiteside, his mom was holding an umbrella over him.
That's pretty bad. That's pretty bad.
That's why we all call him the Umbrella Man.
That's pretty sad, actually. Not bad. That's pretty sad.
Yeah.
The Umbrella Man has got to have that happen to him.
I know.
I mean, Jesus Christ. The Eli Apple pick still gives me nightmares after that one happened. I don't even want to think about it anymore. Just so much it pisses me off.
No, we're not talking about it. Nope.
Yeah, no. Let him go out there and see if he can cover Juju Smith-Schuster, Marquez Valdez-Scantling, Macaulay Hardman. You know what, Kadarius? I'm going to root for Kadarius Toney. I'm going to see if Kadarius Toney can go out there and
You
burn
ready?
Eli Apple.
Oh, yes.
Look at this.
Okay.
That's pretty bad. I mean, Jesus Christ. Has he ever heard of sunglasses or hat?
No, I think it's. Oh.
Well, was that? Hold on. Like, on some real seriousness, was she like that the entire practice with him or something, or was that like just a picture that somebody caught and is making it seem like it's like she was?
I think she was there for the entire practice.
Under an umbrella. You know what I mean?
If that's the entire
She could've-
practice, that's
Could
bad.
be just talking to his mom. Yeah, but if that's when she's out there and it's hot as hell and she's got an umbrella up because maybe sensitive to the sun.
Wow.
We had to deal with this.
I mean, Pictures can be taken out of context too sometimes. That's all I'm saying.
That's true.
It's
That is
not like
true.
something we're
I mean, it's true.
taking out of context and
what's
running with
funny,
it
though?
and making it
No,
seem
wait,
like
no. You know what's funny though? Rager's on the same team as Justin Jefferson. That's hilarious.
Oh,
Yeah, just ask Philly 500 about that one. He made an entire video about that. I mean, seriously. I mean, we could go all day talking about Giants' disastrous draft picks. I mean, we have a long list of them, especially in the
So do we.
2010s.
So
Now,
do we.
ours might be up there for 2010s. We've had some doozies over the years. We've had some real doozies. Thank God, at least some of them are actually panning out to be very good. But I figure we'll go at least another 15, 30 minutes or so. I figure since I got you guys on the panel and we're all big wrestling fans, and tomorrow is a big event, as we all know, the Royal Rumble. Max, a Monster Wrestling fan. Mitch, obviously. Raphael, you too. Why don't we talk about the Royal Rumble a little bit and just some of the matchups that are going to be happening at the show and early picks of who you think are going to win the men's and women's Royal Rumble. Let's start with the pitch black match between LA Knight and Bray Wyatt.
Don't know what's gonna happen.
Well, I mean, that's what I'm intrigued about. We talked about this last night on Earl's podcast on the Wrestling Experience. Like, what
just
the hell
excited
is
to
this
see
match
Bray
going to
Wyatt
be
back
about?
in the ring.
Me too. I'm
That's
just intrigued.
exactly what
is this
Dean
match?
Excited to
Storm
see
said.
Bray Wyatt back
I
in
was
the
on
ring.
his last night.
I want to
and
see
all
them
he said
finally.
was like, can you give him a match?
I want to see them
all he
finally
wanted.
tie up the rest of this storyline too, because now it's starting to try to
Patrick
run.
Clark.
Like, who the hell who is Uncle
You know
Howdy?
who that
I want
is,
to know
right,
who Uncle
Jeff?
Howdy actually is. I want to know who Uncle Howdy actually
Wait,
is.
Jeff,
I want
you
to
know
see
who Patrick
how they
Clark is,
One second.
How
I just
they
want to hear what
tie-
Max saying.
Okay, I'm sorry.
how they tie Alexa Bliss back into the equation. You know what I mean? With this whole, because you saw on Monday Night Raw or whatever, with her and Bianca Belair, and then Uncle Howdy appears and he's distracts Bianca Belair, and she gets the DDT on the outside again, outside the ring again. So I want to just see them tie this together and bring it all together now. And just, if there's going to be a badass fucking faction, let's form it and let's get it going. You know what I mean? And let's start dominating shit. I want. So I'm just curious how they're going to tie all that together. With that, as far as, and also just, what the hell is a pitch black match? I have no idea. None of us do. So that's the one thing I can say is kind of cool, that none of us know what to expect in that match. So I'm looking forward to it just from that aspect as well.
It's presented by Mountain Dew.
It better not be something stupid like some of the other gimmick matches they've thrown together that made absolutely no
You mean
There's
sense.
like
potential
the,
for that. There
you
is
mean
potential
like
for
the
that.
match with Randy
Oh,
Orton?
there is.
You mean the match with like Randy Orton and they had crickets everywhere?
Got attacked by LA Knight. Oh God, did you have to bring that up? You mean Bray Wyatt and Randy Orton at WrestleMania?
Yeah.
They had worms and crickets on the damn ring, and how
Yeah.
stupid that looked. That was one of the worst
My
WrestleMania.
dad was watching it
events.
with me. My dad
That
was
was
watching it with me. And he's like, Mitch, what's going on? I'm like, I don't know.
You think
I don't know.
you think IRS is gonna
I don't
attack?
know.
He's gonna attack LA Knight. By the way, I freaking love LA Knight. I'm just saying, LA Knight is
But
one of
nah,
the best
that,
things.
that would have been actually a better angle on Raw 30 for real, instead of doing the spot with the Undertaker. They could have had like IRS come down as one of the legends they invited back, let him be in the ring, talking whatever, doing whatever. LA Knight come down there, start messing with him, and then Bray Wyatt, Bray Wyatt comes down, and that would have been actually pretty cool. That actually would have been pretty cool. It's pretty cool. But, I mean, it was still cool with the Undertaker too. Don't get it wrong, but it
was
would
awesome.
have been.
That was freaking awesome.
But it could.
That stare down gave me goosebumps. I got to admit, between Bray Wyatt and the Undertaker, that was great. Especially the American Badass version of the Undertaker, I really enjoyed the hell out of that. That was one of the best segments of the night.
Wow,
But,
I just enjoyed that.
But at the same time, I mean, I think we all are on the same page. We believe that Bray Wyatt should win this match. It's just, are we going to get Uncle Howdy? And if Uncle Howdy shows up, are we going to find out who he finally is? Are we going to get the reveal of Uncle Howdy at the
Yeah,
Royal
that's what
Rumble?
I want to reveal.
I want the review already. Come
I
on.
think it's Bo Dallas. I'm going out to say it's Bo Dallas.
I'd say that.
Yeah, it's gonna be Bob Dallas, no doubt.
People are saying it could be Alexa Bliss, and I'm like, how?
How would that make sense?
No.
I don't know. That's why I don't
That's-
pay attention to
Now,
Twitter.
did you see how big he
I
was
do the
when he walked
trolling. I
down
don't
to
pay
the
attention
ring?
to them.
And when he gave Sister Abigail to Bray Wyatt, that's not Alexa Bliss. Sorry. That's not Alexa
I
Bliss.
agree.
I don't know who the hell.
No.
like that.
Okay.
Even if she was on stilts or something, she wouldn't have been at that person's height. It could be somebody from the Righteous, Vincent or a
How
Dutch.
tall is Bo Dallas? That's my
Or-
question, though.
Yeah.
He's like 5. He's like close to 6
He's
feet.
like
isn't
around
he?
the same size. Around the same size as his brother. He ain't much different in size than his brother. They're like pretty much built kind of similar.
6'1".
Bo Dallas is probably a little more like toned up than Bray, but they're like around not that much difference in size.
Yeah. I will say though, to tie in the whole Uncle Howdy thing, I really hope to God that Bliss does not win the Raw Women's Championship and there's not no hokey pokey
I think
shit.
she
you know.
is. I think she is though. I think she's
So what
gonna
do you
take
do
the
with
title off
Bianca?
Bianca Belair.
Oh well, we just got a thing. Shea Tierney's getting an OC interview with the Bucks. To go back to
Yep.
football real quickly. So the Bucks are looking at our quarterbacks coach for an interview. Not surprised. Was anybody really surprised that people are coming to our coaching staff to pluck them off? So
That's what happens when you have success.
exactly,
It
the
is.
coaching staff's gonna get plucked.
It is.
I wish I could join the Royal Rumble tomorrow, but Mitch said a lot of people are going to be there, so I won't be able to join. It's gonna be like everybody just talking all over the place on that stream.
It's gonna
It's
be like 6 or
Uh,
no. You can still join. I mean, I need to go through. It's like me, Mac, Jeff, Earl, Platform. Who else am I forgetting?
I don't
I
know.
get Let me look at the stream.
I
guys.
don't think that they're going to screw up the Hurt Business. At least I don't. I hope they don't. I hope they don't, but anything's
No, I don't
possible.
know whether they don't.
But the thing is, if you're going to have Alexa Bliss win the championship, fuck, I just set off my damn you know what. See? Alexa, shh, quiet. If Bliss
Oh
is
my
going to win
god!
the
Oh my
title, here's
god!
the question. I got something for you guys.
Hey, wait,
If
Alexa.
If Bliss, I have my
Oh
headphones. That's
no!
not going to
No,
hear.
don't
Dang
tell
it.
me
If
Alexa because
Bliss
you're gonna
wins the
be
title,
very-
I got something for you guys real quick. If Bliss wins the title,
Oh,
is Bianca
Tyler.
Belair going to the Royal Rumble and maybe competing for the SmackDown Championship? There you go. Does she have
Yeah,
a chance to win and go to
we got
Royal
6.
WrestleMania?
Wait. We got 6 for tomorrow.
But I'm just saying, that's interesting. Is Belair loses the Raw Women's Championship? Does he enter the
Uh-huh.
Royal Rumble
Yep.
and potentially win it to go on and challenge Charlotte or somebody else for the SmackDown Women's Championship? Gotta think about that.
I mean, they're gonna need somebody to line up somebody for Charlotte for WrestleMania, so why not?
Ronda
Rousey.
I feel like
Ronda Rousey. There you go.
that
No,
bullshit.
no, don't
Ronda
stop
Rousey
it.
nonsense.
No,
Get
no,
that
no,
garbage
no.
out of the chat. Get it out. No.
No.
What?
Do we
What
have
I
to
said?
suffer through that garbage again?
It's Vince McMahon here.
No, Triple H
Oh,
is running
no,
creative
no,
right
I'm
now.
not-
Don't
I'm
even
not
put
gonna-
that.
I'm not
Don't
gonna
even.
touch it.
If that actually ends up happening, I swear to God, we are all going to be like after you, Mitch, on that one.
Because I know I'm gonna
Nope.
be right.
No.
I
No.
know I'm gonna be
No.
right because think about this, right? Her contract is up after Mania, so they'll
God
get
is
the
not
match.
after
She'll
Mania.
lose,
So,
and gone she is.
so after WrestleMania, her
Her
contract is
contract
done.
is done.
All right, well, then I'll think about this real quickly. Do you think we're going to get a SmackDown Women's Championship match at Royal Rumble on Saturday after SmackDown
No.
tonight?
No,
No.
What do you think?
Oh,
I don't think
Possibly,
so
they might
because
wanna
what
have
Earl
good
said
something.
last
I don't think
night.
so.
We got 5.
Go ahead,
It's going
Matt.
to be a long show.
They may.
I'm
How
saying-
many regular matches are there other than the 2 Rumble matches?
3.
Wait,
There's 5,
Yeah, there's
3 other
yes.
regular matches.
Yes.
Might add another one into
Yep.
the mix. I mean, I just come back. They might want to get her on the card. Have a reason to put her on the card. Who knows? I mean, we'll see. After SmackDown, and
then
they'll
what?
answer that
You'll
question.
have Charlotte versus Raquel Rodriguez. I don't know. I'm throwing out a name.
No, I'm
Raquel's in
actually.
the Rumble.
And it'll be like less
Yeah.
than 3 minutes.
Raquel's in the Rumble, and I'm expecting her to have a big showing in the Rumble.
I know that, but I was just throwing out a name.
Yeah. No, I
Oh,
think
yeah,
it'd be
yeah,
a rematch. I think it'd be Shayna versus. It'd be Ronda versus Charlotte at the Royal Rumble if they want to do it for a rematch
It's
for the
gonna-
title.
You know what I said last night, though? I did my final 4 of the women's. I would love to see Cena and Ronda at Mania.
Without the title, I'm fine with that.
Yeah.
I don't-
That's exactly what I want.
Yeah, I don't mind that. What's going on, BK and Goat?
Oh,
But
Well, Vicky,
the match I'm going to be looking. So we're all guessing that. So Max says you're saying Bianca's going to lose the title.
yeah,
I think
I
Mitch,
Alexa's
you're
going to win the
saying
title. I
so you
think
got
Bliss is going
Bliss
to win the
winning.
title off of Bianca. She's going to take it off of
Mhm.
Bianca.
What do you think, Mitch? Who do you think's winning that Raw Women's Championship?
I got Bianca.
What about you, Raphael?
I'll go with Bianca Belair.
Yeah, I'm going with Bianca. I still think the bigger story is with Bianca. I think that something's going to happen. Maybe Uncle Howdy costs Alexa Bliss the title. God damn it, I did it again. I think it's going to cost her. I think it's going to cost Bliss the title, like sort of when Uncle Howdy attacked Bray Wyatt. I think it's going to be something similar to that.
And
So
that was
I'm going with
something that
Belair.
I
How was this tweet still?
But this is the match I'm looking forward to the most, besides the Rumbles, is Kevin Owens versus Roman Reigns for the WWE Universal Championship. And what involvement is Sami Zayn going to have in this match? That is what I'm looking
What's going
forward
to be
to.
his final test? What
Yes.
his final test is going to be? I don't know. I'm curious about that as well. I don't know if this is
Oh,
going to
yeah.
finally be what segues Sami Zayn out of the bloodline and back with Kevin Owens. What can happen here? I mean, it's a lot of ways they can go with this.
This whole Royal Rumble pay-per-view
I am pretty
revolves around Sami Zayn. Think about it. It revolves the whole thing around
Oh,
him.
yeah. Well, I don't know if you heard about it, Alex. Bray Wyatt said the Fiend is dead. He pretty much said he's dead at WrestleMania. He died at WrestleMania 37, so he's not coming back. But
Oh, I didn't hear that at all. What?
the crazy part is, because of how big Sami Zayn has gotten over these past few months, Kevin Owens just feels like the third wheel. Because he's going in, he's looked absolutely phenomenal. We all love Kevin Owens, but
yes.
it's all
There it
about
is.
Sami Zayn and Roman Reigns and the bloodline stuff. Kevin Owens just seems like that secondary piece. And you have to wonder if Sami Zayn might play a big factor in the Royal Rumble. So, I mean, like, I do believe I think we all agree that Roman Reigns is going to retain the title at Royal Rumble. But it's just a question of what is Sami Zayn going to do and what is his final test? Is he going to be told to take out Kevin Owens for good? Like, just pretty much put him on the shelf, get him out of the way? And will he actually comply and do that? So, I mean, that's the biggest story when it comes to the whole championship matches. Will Sami Zayn finally have the gumption to go out there and take out and finish off his best friend for real? Or is he going to defy Roman Reigns and be like, I can't do it. I still care about the dude and, like, go against what the tribal chief says. So that's going to be the major storyline throughout the entire match.
Yeah, exactly. Because even though I'm just thinking about it, because
Why'd you quiet?
I think your microphone is freezing, Raphael. Sammy B will be
No,
pushed
he's
out-
frozen. Not the mic. He's frozen.
No, that's why. Yeah, he's frozen right now. So we'll wait until Raphael unfreezes for a second. But Sammy attacks Roman, Owens helps, and then they hug in the ring, and then the Mania for tag team belts. I could see that. There have been a lot of rumors about the tag team championships, them going against the Usos. The Bloodline might turn on Sami Zayn. Oh, my bad, Raphael. You froze for a little bit, so we couldn't hear.
Yeah, I was frozen, but I will say more excitement about the Roman Reigns versus Kevin Owens. I see like a lot of potential, but they have to be careful. It might be like a plot twist if they had like a heel turn or anything. So I might just say Roman Reigns is going to retain the championship again, but I see more excitement, and of course it's going to be like a plot twist because everything could happen in the Royal Rumble. Everything could happen.
There's no stipulation right now for the WWE Universal Championship match, Juice. They could always add one at the last second, but right now it's just it's just a one-on-one match. You have to wonder if Sammy will be there.
Can you imagine if somehow they announced tonight that the bloodline is like banned from ringside and same with Kevin Owens?
No, I banned the whole bloodline except for Sami Zayn. I banned the whole bloodline except Sami Zayn. That way you at least have that intrigue in there. And Sami has to be there. He's going to be there at ringside, the one guy supporting Roman Reigns, and then that's when you find out where Sami Zayn's true allegiance really is going to be. Because that trial of Sami Zayn, I don't know how – I know Mitch and we watched the Monday Night Raw. That was one of the best segments that WWE has put together in a very long time. That was phenomenal, the trial of Sami Zayn. That was so good for a last-second changeup. The way that played off
That was the best. That
excellent.
was the best thing
Excellent.
that I was seeing. Yes.
I don't know how you feel about it, Mac, but that was so terrific, that segment put together.
Oh
What up,
yeah.
Blaze?
I thought it ran a little long.
Hey,
Thought it
Blaze!
ran a little long for me for my liking. I mean, it took up the whole first half hour of the damn show. I felt like that was a little long. I felt like, but otherwise, it was a good segment for what it was. I did like how Jey Uso took tables on Paul Heyman and came out with the clips of Sami Zayn showing Sami Zayn's value to the bloodline.
Yeah.
So
It is.
That was all pretty cool.
But, yeah, I mean, I think we
Just
all
that
agree that
segment got a
Roman
little
Reigns.
lengthy.
It did, and cut away from the cage match that they had a cage there and they didn't even use it. So I mean that was a
Exactly. Well, I'll set up a cage if that's all you're gonna do. You
They
set
were
up a
compre-
cage
they were,
over the ring. Like you don't waste a cage. You don't waste that. You have the cage match. You advertise the match. You give the fans a cage match. You don't give us what you get that nonsense. You come down and they just jump on Becky and there's not even a match. It's just ridiculous.
especially in
That
Philadelphia.
was the worst part of Monday Night Raw for me.
Yeah, that was pretty bad. The women in general did literally nothing on that show. They felt absolutely
yes.
insignificant throughout that whole show that went on. What's going on? Any predictions and debuts? I got some. I got some for the Royal Rumble. I mean, we're actually on the Rumble right now. Let's start with the women. I think that's gonna be the first match that'll be on the show, probably on the pay-per-view. I think they're gonna start out with the Women's Royal Rumble. Let's throw it out there. Names you guys that think will be returns or debuts in the Royal Rumble. Who do you guys think will be there? One at a time first.
Lita.
Okay.
I can go on and on.
Well, Lita's one of them. I could see Lita coming back.
You want me to keep going, or is there other people gonna like?
No, I mean, if anybody wants to throw out any names. I
Okay,
think will be
Lita,
back.
Trish Stratus, Kelly, Michelle McCool,
Chelsea Green is mine.
Chelsea Green. Yep.
Chelsea Green to me is a surefire woman that's going to be in that Rumble. I guarantee she's going to be in that Rumble. I don't know where, but they're going to have her somewhere.
I got another one. Natalia. I mean, not Natalia. Yeah.
I did hear about that, Blaze, that Chelsea Green's been under a WWE contract for a while.
Yes.
So, Natalia, Beth Phoenix.
Yeah, I can see Beth Phoenix coming back. She goes after
Oh,
Rhea
that
Ripley.
Phoenix could be good.
Beth Phoenix and Rhea Ripley, eye to eye, stare down.
Set up a WrestleMania match with them.
Yeah,
She's
or
got a
mixed
score to
tag.
settle.
Set up a mixed tag between Edge and you could have Edge and Beth Phoenix taking on Dominic Mysterio. If you don't have Ray and Dominic, you have Edge.
I
and
would
Beth
love to
Phoenix
see
versus
Edge
Dominic
and
Mysterio
Beth
and
Phoenix
Ray
versus
Ripley.
No, it's gonna be
Dominic
Finn Balor
versus
and
Dominic. Yeah, that will see.
But for me, I'm going with Blaze. Blaze doesn't want to be spoiled on the surprises. Hence why Earl is now apparently called Mr. Spoiler Alert. So no.
Oh my God!
I
Get
better
that first
see Eva
name
Marie
out of there.
be nowhere near. Better
No,
not see
get
her
her the
anywhere near the
hell.
ring on tomorrow
No.
night. Okay.
No.
What about
No.
Santina Morella?
No.
No
Eva
Eva
Marie,
Marie.
No,
No
not
Lanas.
that one.
No.
No. We want legit people in the Rumble. Legit, not cosplay.
Wow.
Oh yeah, legit.
No Nia Jax. No Eva Marie. No
How about-
Jillian Hall.
how
no
about
Candice
Tamina Snuka?
Michelle.
How about Tamina
No.
Snuka?
Maybe she'll be in the Rumble as like somebody gets
She'll
knocked out
probably
in
be
like
in it.
5
She
minutes.
probably will be in it.
I will say the
Leave
biggest
her last
surprise.
name.
Yeah, I will say the biggest surprise is gonna be on the women's Rumble. Is gonna be between Lita, Trish Stratus, and of course Beth Phoenix. That will be three. Because I don't want to see Nia Jax. I don't want to see Santina Morella with this costume play. None of this.
No.
I want to see Lita, Trish Stratus, and of course Beth Phoenix. That one.
Oh, I got another one. I don't know if they said it, but no, wait, no one said this. Melina.
I can see
Meaning-
Melina or Mickey James.
Mickey
Oh,
James.
That
Mickey
would be
James, that would
awesome,
like
be-
last
Blade.
year, right?
Yeah,
I agree
That
with
right
this.
there
I
awesome.
think that's going to happen. I
That
think that's
right
going to
there.
happen.
yeah,
Be
yeah,
awesome.
yeah. It is.
I agree. I think that's going to happen. I think we're going to get Oscar
I
back, but she's
I
going to be
want to see
Kana.
this. They need to give a new. They need to get that edge back to Oscar. I think her character has fallen way off the last couple of years. They need to get her character that edge
How-
again and bring her back to being the
How would you
badass
feel?
that she is.
How would you feel
You
when
know what I
Mercedes
mean?
Moné came
So that would
back?
be
I know
awesome.
that's not going to happen.
No, Mercedes, she's not coming back.
I
Don't
know
forget
that,
about Mercedes.
No,
Oh, that's
she's
true.
on the New
Carmella.
Japan
I forgot
Pro
about Carmella
Wrestling.
too. She's gonna
I've
be
been
on
hearing
her
some
way
rumblings
back.
about
That's
Carmella, so she
that's
might
mentioned
actually
as
she
well
might
in
be
the
back
New
for
Japan Pro
real.
And
Wrestling.
Layla,
Naomi too.
Layla
Naomi
McCool?
as well.
like Lay cool.
If Kana is coming back, she has to win the Royal Rumble or just bring her back then. I don't think she's winning the Royal Rumble. I don't think Asuka, Kana, whatever iteration she comes back as, I don't think she's winning the Royal Rumble. Maybe she comes back as Asuka. She has like a poor run or something, gets eliminated early, and that could start the transformation into Kana, which then leads to a WrestleMania match when she officially, transforms into what we know from when she was in New Japan and Stardom as Kana. That would be awesome. I mean, I don't see her winning. I just don't think it's her time. I think there's other people over there that have a better chance of winning. I'm also curious about NXT women getting called up. I'd love to see Cora
Oh,
Jade.
yes, and the
I'd love to
men's
see
match,
Roxanne
yeah.
Perez. I'd love to see Tiffany Stratton. I would have said Nikita Lyons, but she's hurt now. Apparently she tore her ACL, so she's not going to be around. Like some of those NXT women get called up too and make a
Well, it's
strong
going to be a
mark.
bunch of them. It's going to be a bunch of them. It's going to be a bunch of them. But remember last year's Royal Rumble, Mickey James in last year's Royal Rumble, the Impact Women's Champion. So
I'll be
while
right
she
back.
was still the Impact, so you never know. They may have some kind of surprise like that where you get somebody like that coming over from cross promotion type of deal coming over. Man, you never know. Like they did it last year with Mickey James. It could happen again this year with someone else.
I can see Indy Hartwell. She's gone nowhere on NXT. She could be somebody they're looking to elevate to the main roster. So I could definitely see Indy Hartwell get in there. I wouldn't mind maybe Kaden Carter, Katana
What's
Chance.
wrong with you?
What did he say? Velveteen Dream, Mark Briscoe. Mark Briscoe's in AEW. He's not going to probably be involved. Velveteen Dream, no. I've heard rumors that Matt Riddle might be involved. Carmelo Hayes, sign me the F up. Absolutely. Get Carmelo Hayes in that Royal Rumble. That guy is a megastar. Edge, I think, will be back. I don't know about Moose. I mean, we'll have to wait and see. Pat McAfee, I could possibly see it. Tama Tonga. Can you imagine Tama Tonga or Hikuleo in that Royal Rumble or Jay White? Because they're free agents coming up. You have 3 major free agents from New Japan that could be rumored for the Royal Rumble. Tama Tonga, Hikuleo, and Jay White. Sign me the F up for those guys in the Royal Rumble. Wow, that would be awesome.
I mean, I would choose Carmelo Hayes for the debut surprise for a debut at the Royal Rumble, but I got my prediction for the men's Royal Rumble at number 30.
Juice is drinking the wrong type of juice. Oh, he's drunk. Moose, Tonga, Dream, Briscoe, Leo, no way. I could see Tama Tonga. He's actually going to be a free agent soon. Maybe
yeah.
there's been rumors
Tama
about
Tonga's very
WWE.
good.
About WWE interested in signing him. I mean, with Triple
Yeah.
H in charge, I'm not leaving anything off the table. I think anything could be in play as long as they're upcoming free agents and potentially rumored for the AEW. He's gonna go to AEW. After what they did on Dynamite, I am gonna be floored if Mark Briscoe is not All Elite or at least part of Ring of Honor. I'd be shocked if he's not. But I think I'm going for the women just real quickly. I'm going with my final 4. I think they're going to be in the match. I believe I said Rhea Ripley, Becky Lynch, Raquel Rodriguez, and my wild card was Emma. I think Emma's going to have a very strong. No, I'm sorry, Io Sky. I think Io Sky is going to have a long run in this women's Royal Rumble. And I have Rhea Ripley coming out as the victor. I think it's going to come down to Rhea Ripley and Raquel Rodriguez, the last 2. And then Rhea's going to eventually get the victory, sort of like what they did a couple of years ago, whereas Bianca and Rhea, and it was Bianca's time to win, even though Rhea did win the championship anyway on Raw. So I think that's what's going to end up happening is that Bianca, it's going to be Rhea and Raquel, and eventually Rhea is going to win the match.
Yeah, I'm so sure. I think they go the direction of riddle me this. But I wouldn't be shocked if Bailey comes out on top of this Royal Rumble, man. She's been on that downward kind of, she's been kind of a little hit or miss with this damage control thing. She was out so long with the injury, and she was one of the top women when she went out with the injury. So at the same time, they could be looking to build her back up, and we're way better than to get the Royal Rumble victory, go into WrestleMania, main event WrestleMania for one of the women's titles, man. So.
Yes,
I don't know. I can see them going in a direction like that.
Possible.
Yes,
I just think because of the terrific work that Rhea Ripley's been doing, and because she's literally been the best thing in that women's division for pretty much like the better part of half a year, longer than half a year, I think she looks like the favorite to be in that to win that women's Royal Rumble. I'd love to see Raquel win it too. I think she's got that look to become somebody that's that could become a force on that SmackDown women's division. They need it because that SmackDown women's division is very just not good. Gable Stevenson's a good choice too. I could see Gable Stevenson being involved in that
it is.
that men's Royal Rumble. But so you're going with Asuka for the women's one, Mac?
No, I'm going with Bailey. I think
You're going
Bailey
with-
wins the Royal Rumble. I think that's. I think I can see that playing out. I mean, Becky Lynch has won one. Charlotte's won one. So why not? Sasha's no longer part of the company, so why not? Bailey, get all these horsewomen their due. How they. I don't know. It could go. It's so many because the thing is, it's so many entrants that we don't know who the hell they're going to be. It's also hard to make a pick because there's a lot of people we don't even know who's going to be involved yet. So.
Yeah, it's Stevenson. I thought it was Stevenson too, but it's actually Stevenson. I completely forgot about that. His brother's Damon Kemp in NXT.
Oh yes, it is.
I didn't even realize that, but Matt,
I thought they were related, man. I thought those guys were related.
Yeah.
Man. I was like,
they're brothers.
I didn't know that. I was like these guys got to be.
Damon Kemp is the older one, and then Gable Stevenson is the younger one. They just kept him by his original name. They renamed him.
I remember that. Yes.
What the hell is Damon Kemp doing right now in NXT? I haven't watched NXT in a while, so I have no idea. Is he in any significant programs? Is he still part of the?
I don't know. He may be injured. I don't know. I haven't seen. He hasn't been on TV since his last match he had with the damn one of the Creed brothers or whatever. He hasn't been on TV since. So.
Mm-hmm. So he's probably maybe just keeping him off television, like injury segments, like injury wise or something. So. Reminder that Powerhouse Hobbs competes tonight on Rampage. I don't watch Rampage, so it's like to me, it's another version of Dark or Elevation. I can't watch Rampage. I tried, I can't do it. It's not good.
Yeah, and I have my predictions to see what's going on for the Royal Rumbles instead for men and women. I would love to see like Roxanne Perez, and of course, I would love to see Carmella Hayes debut on the Royal Rumble. But there's one name that I didn't mention about it. What about Grayson Waller? Because he emerged like
I love him too. I love Grayson Waller. That guy, he is one of those guys that's such an arrogant fuck that you just want to punch him in the face, but he is so good at his character. I love Grayson Waller.
They're investing so much in that storyline with him and Braun Breaker right now that I don't know if they're
going
to do anything to sidetrack from that right now. They're investing a lot in that storyline.
By the way, Juice.
All in.
Yeah.
Who's Power Hobbs facing? Because I hope he loses.
Cameron Grimes is another one you got to think about could be there because Cameron Grimes has really been
on TV in a while either. He hasn't been on TV in a while either.
I would love to see Roxanne Perez, Carmella Hayes, and of course, Grayson Waller debuted at the Royal Rumble.
If WWE,
if
it'd be an absolute goddamn shame if Carmelo Hayes is not in that Royal Rumble. He has to be in the Royal Rumble. You need to get this guy on the big stage. He's
on the main roster. Get him on the main roster. Period.
Yes, he's too good
already. What are you waiting for? I don't care about this stupid feud with Apollo Crews on NXT. Get him on the main roster, man. Get him up there and stop playing around. This guy is gold on the mic. He's gold in the ring. He's a natural talent, man. Some guys just have it, and some guy, and he has it. He has it all. He's the total package. He's everything you want
yeah.
in a WWE superstar. Get him up to the main roster and get this
I
thing
wasn't a
rolling.
big
Man. I
fan
don't know
of
what they're
Apollo
waiting
Crews.
for.
He's a 5-tool player. He's exactly what he says in his promos. He is a 5-tool player. He does it all. Gimmick. He's great on the mic. He's awesome in the ring. I love Trick Williams and him together. I love the little barbershop things they do in their little NXT segments.
It is.
I love Carmelo Hayes as a top megastar in the WWE men's division going forward. And that
You know
guy,
what I wanna
not
see
only
him
does he
do?
need to be in the Royal Rumble, he needs to show out in the Royal Rumble. He needs to have the big run in the NXT in the Royal Rumble if he's there tomorrow night. He has to be. He's too good not to. Too good not to.
You know who I want to
It is
see at the
good.
Rumble? I want to see Titus O'Neil do the world slide under the ring.
Oh
Can we
my
see
God!
that
Don't
again?
remember that. No, I was so.
I did like that Nigerian gimmick he did have. It was interesting. It was a good change up. It just
Yeah,
they,
but come on.
they didn't go forward
Oh,
with it.
Yeah,
snap.
you don't want the
Oh, it's not working?
Oh, you said it. All right.
They might be the Twitter one. The Twitter one messed up.
YouTube, I'll fix it. Oh wait, it's not even. I didn't even set this up.
Is what Dream was. Juice. I know how much you liked Velveteen Dream, but it's not happening. Patrick Clark is in. I don't know what happened to Patrick Clark. I love the guy was phenomenal in NXT. He looked
The
like
guy
he was
was
going to be another.
phenomenal.
He's
Tough
still
enough.
dealing with a lot of legal issues. He's dealing with a lot of legal
Yeah.
issues. It's
Yeah,
just a
he's
whole
got
thing
a
right
lot of
now with him.
issues about that. Yeah.
Yeah, but Jeff, you're telling me you don't want to see Titus O'Neil do the world slide?
I to be honest, Mitch, I want to actually have legitimate people that deserve to be in the Royal Rumble. I want this Royal Rumble to be taken more seriously than past. We've had a lot of comment stuff. People that don't deserve.
He didn't
to
mean
be.
to do that. That's the funny thing.
I know, but do we really think Titus O'Neil has a legit chance to win the Royal Rumble? I want legit people
Come on.
that actually have a shot. Mitch, we've seen so many crap Royal Rumbles over the years. I want a legit good Royal Rumble.
What's your
all
favorite?
these guys.
I actually want to ask you guys this. What's your favorite Royal Rumble of all time?
Oh.
I actually want to know that.
Mac, you start out because I know you have probably some good ones.
It's hard. I like the Royal Rumble a lot, so it's hard for me to just pinpoint any one in particular.
Yeah. So for
I
the
mean,
next
there's always great
football
moments
talk,
in them
I
too.
can
It's like, damn, so many.
explain if you want.
I don't know. I gotta really think about which my favorite one is.
I like 2000. I love the
Yeah,
2000
my
Royal
earpiece
Rumble.
back.
I was a big fan of that.
Titus should come out from under the ring
Oh,
in
no.
his name. It is called like it is its new home or something.
Earl Cole to the Royal Rumble. Hey, you never know. Maybe he will do that, Blaze. Maybe he will show up underneath the ring and do that.
What, kind of like Hornswoggle?
I love Royal Rumble 2020. The Royal Rumbles recently have not been that great. Is that the one with Edge?
Yeah.
Oh, that's the was that the Drew McIntyre one that he won in 2020?
Yeah.
That was a good one. I mean,
Oh,
was
yes, that
before-
was Drew McIntyre.
My favorite
yes.
one was the one Ric Flair won.
That was
92,
That was way
Was that
back. in the day.
1990? That was like 92 or 93. I believe.
92, yeah.
Oh.
Yeah, that's my favorite.
Man,
That was a great one. I love 2000. 2000 to me, that might have been one of the best overall Royal Rumble shows. That 2000 Royal
remember there
Rumble
was one
was
year somebody-
phenomenal.
Somebody literally punted Hornswoggle during the Royal Rumble, like punted him like it was like a football, a little football. So I can't remember who that was.
I forget what year that was. That had to have been like the 2010s, one of those years. Finley was there too.
It was big one that Alberto Del Rio won, the one that had like 40 guys in it. It was definitely.
Oh,
that.
yeah.
I
Oh, I
remember being that one
remember
for
that.
sure.
Yeah,
but I just
yeah,
can't
yes.
remember.
Was it 2000? Was that 2010 or 2011? That where they had
It
the
was
40
somewhere
men.
around that time.
I hated the 40 man. That was the one Del Rio won. That was just pointless.
Yeah.
yes.
Well, it
Like
was
40.
it was too
What
much.
did he do? And what did he
never
do?
went
He
back to
lost
that.
at Mania.
My favorite one was Pittsburgh a few years ago. I was there and the vibe was wild. Was that the one that Roman Reigns won?
Wow.
Oh
Was that the Roman Reigns one where The Rock
Yeah.
came back? That was
No, it
different.
was 2014.
no, the
He
one
did-
The Rock came back. That was the one in Philly.
Oh yeah, that's right. That was 2000. I think it was 2013.
That was 14. 14.
Oh,
My
yeah,
buddy
that was
had
13.
tickets.
2000 was it 14 or 13?
It
I
was
thought it was
14.
2013.
Because my
It was
buddy-
14,
okay.
yes.
My buddy had tickets, and he's like, Mitch, I got you a ticket to the Royal Rumble. And I was like, no, I know something's going to happen. And what do you know? I was right.
I like 2004 too. I thought 2004 was very underrated. I thought that was a very solid Royal Rumble. Pittsburgh Royal Rumble was 2014. Okay.
I think my favorite Royal Rumbles is gonna be like in 2 years. The first one, it was 2003 when everybody exploded about The Undertaker versus Brock Lesnar, and of course that was in 2008 when the number 30 came out. Everybody was cheering about his name.
Oh yeah, John Cena. That
John
was
Cena,
that was
yeah.
that was probably the last genuine great surprise they've ever had in the Royal Rumble. Was
Yes, it is.
Nobody expected John Cena to come back in 2008. That
No one
early.
expected-
Nobody
no one
expected
expected.
that. And they did an excellent job hiding that the entire time. And all of a sudden you hear his
Exactly.
music play. That was absolutely unexpected. Absolutely unexpected. That was
Exactly.
great.
It's one of my favorite moments at the Royal Rumble because I just saw like the best so far is in 2003 between The Undertaker versus Brock Lesnar, 2008 where John Cena came out out of nowhere
Thank
with
you.
his return, and of course it was another. Oh, it was 1990. It was the clash between the Ultimate Warrior versus Hulk Hogan because that was so damn fun, and that was just like Coco Beware, also Bossman, Hawksaw,
Mm.
and that was so silly and it wasn't necessary. But it doesn't matter that they build it about between Hulk
Earthquake.
Hogan versus Ultimate Warrior.
Earthquake coming in for like 2 seconds and getting eliminated. 2020.
Which one was the Which one was the one with Santino Marella, and he was in there for like a second?
Oh, I remember this one. 2014 was one of the garbage ones. That's when it was supposed to be everybody was cheering for Daniel Bryan in that Rumble, and that's the one where they
Everybody
shoved
was
Batista
cheering
down our
with Daniel
throats.
Bryan.
Yeah, and they shoved
Yeah, I remember
Batista
that.
down
That
our
was in
throats.
2014. That was
Vince
in
McMahon-
2014. when-
Vince McMahon won the Royal Rumble in 1999 when he eliminated Stone Cold Steve Austin, which I actually thought that was pretty damn funny.
Yeah.
I like that 1999 Royal Rumble. The first time we had a female in the Royal Rumble when Chyna entered, and then she entered in 2000 back-to-back years. 1999 was fun. I enjoyed
Which
that.
Royal Rumble was it when Santino Marella came in and then he was eliminated like in a second?
2005 or 6, I believe. That was the year that Ray
That
won.
was funny.
Let's
That was funny.
see.
No, 2007. That's when Morella came in and Kane eliminated him in 2 seconds. It was
Oh, that was for
Triple
like a
H.
record because Kane. Oh, because of Kane. Oh, yes.
Triple H entered at 1, and then Rey Mysterio entered at 2, and then Triple H, Mysterio, and Orton went all the way to the final 3, and then eventually Mysterio eliminated both. And that's when he ended up in that triple threat match at WrestleMania 23, and won the championship as Angle and Orton. 2013.
Mhm.
Has JJ Redick played for the Nets before, Jeff? No, he is not. JJ
No,
Redick
he's
has never
not.
been
No,
a Net
he's not.
before.
He's not.
My Royal Rumble favorite was the night Sergeant
in the
Slaughter
league?
won the WWF title from the Ultimate Warrior.
Oh, after Randy Savage hit him with a scepter.
That one I don't remember.
She
What
will not be
percentage
in
do
the
you
men's
think-
Rumble. She will be in the women's rumble.
I could see her in both. Did you really put it past WWE putting her? You see how she's manhandling the men
Oh.
on the roster?
No.
I would not put it
Yeah,
past them
yeah.
putting her in the men's Royal Rumble.
DJ
I think it
said
would be
no,
awesome,
like in a millisecond.
You had the women's rumble, like you said, had Beth Phoenix in there and renewed. I haven't seen Beth Phoenix literally since that I Quit match. Let her come in, let that feud reignite to get it going. And I don't want to see a mixed tag match at WrestleMania. I would love to see Rhea Ripley head up against
Oh.
Beth Phoenix at WrestleMania. If you're going to do it like that, do it like that.
Oh, Earl, that was
Don't
in
you guys-
1991.
Let it be the
That was in
handle it,
1991.
handle their business.
Exactly. We are probably entering after beating up Akira Tozawa. Maybe Raquel Rodriguez or Bianca. Maybe Bianca Belair turns heel. And maybe she enters the
probably.
men's Royal Rumble for the hell of
Yeah,
it if
probably.
she loses that title.
She's got to lose
finally
it for that to
snaps
happen.
and she
She's
turns
got to
heel.
lose it for that
I
to
mean,
happen. She has
Bianca-
to if that has to happen.
Bianca Belair's got to turn heel soon. In my opinion, she's got to go heel. The babyface thing is not working anymore as well as it was before. You got to turn her heel, and maybe a loss to Bliss can have that happen. I can't wait for the Rumble either, especially with Triple H in charge. Anything is possible. I'm so excited of what might happen this year at the Royal Rumble, so I'm just keeping an open book. Keeping an open book on everything. But I'm going to close out the live stream.
Blaze said it earlier up in the comments.
No, go ahead, Matt. Go ahead.
He said up in the comments earlier, like you said, that thing with Mickey James last year, that was Vince McMahon running the show, and we still got something like that. So with Triple H, all bets are off. Man,
they're all bets are off. Yeah.
But you guys have any parting words to say before we close up the live stream and get ready for a football weekend, a wrestling weekend? Plug your channels if you guys like.
Yeah. I got a live stream at 4 o'clock. It's MK Lounge. We're just going to chill, talk Eagles. And then I got a live stream tonight at 9:30 with Platform 246. Eagles versus 49ers talk. And then the Sixers versus Nuggets tomorrow. Then the Royal Rumble. So I got 4 streams in the span of 2 days. And then Sunday I got the Eagles stream. So, yeah.
It's just going to be a very busy man.
And then Monday, the Sixers against the Magic.
It's very busy. I mean,
thank you.
Hold on a minute. I just thought about something because tomorrow I'm gonna be streaming a watch party of the Royal Rumble, and it's gonna be on my YouTube channel as Rafael Chassin. And also you can follow me on Twitter or Instagram as @Capitan Rafucho. And tomorrow I'm gonna be like one stream for the live watch party for the Royal Rumble. And then you can see me like the surprises, reactions, and of course all of that. And it's gonna be tomorrow at 8 p.m. Eastern time.
There you go. And what about you, Mac?
I'll be tomorrow night and watching that Royal Rumble with everybody on the stream. It's gonna be lit. It's always a good time with the wrestling with everybody, bust chopping it up. Also, just the weekend of sports. Royal Rumble is my favorite pay-per-view of the year for WWE. Always has been. It's just something always fun about watching these battle royals, and I actually was glad when they introduced the women's Rumble a few years ago. Long overdue. So, it's just always a good time. Usually got a couple of good matches on the side there, too, like that pitch black match, Bray Wyatt. You got the world title match with Roman Reigns and Kevin Owens. These are going to be some good matches. Like I said, just enjoy a good show. And on Sunday, enjoy some good-ass football. If you're a football fan, you got 2 great games on Sunday coming down to what I believe is the 4 best teams in the NFL battling it out for spots in the Super Bowl. So, enjoy those games. I like the 49ers. I like the Cincinnati Bengals. I mean, I'm not just hating on the Eagles. I just think the 49ers are built in the way that they got the recipe.
Yeah, it's okay. It's all right.
They got the recipe to defeat the Eagles. I mean, they do the things that the Eagles – they do what the Eagles aren't, the best at, and that's defending that run. The 49ers will commit to that run game, and if the Eagles can't slow it down, it could be a long day for them. I mean, that's all. I'm not going to be shocked by no means. Whoever wins this football game, they're both 2 really good teams. I just think that the 49ers are going to have the edge here on the road in a hostile environment. So we'll see. We'll see. It's going to be a good game regardless. Just anybody, if you out there, if you haven't already, appreciate you subscribe to my channel. Mac the Giants fan, just like it's spelled up here on the screen, MACDA, Giants fan. Get ready to hit the off season with content. But we're gonna keep it pushing, man. I really appreciate the support.
And I just want to say thank you very much to you, Mac, to you, Mitch, Raphael. Thank you, Adam and Miz, for popping on another episode of the New York Giants and Football Friday talk. You guys can catch me. You know where to catch me. NYG Jeffy T85. It's like I'm throwing out a video or short every friggin' 2 seconds. So you'll probably get more content throughout the entire day. You know, just stuff that's going to be happening. I got a couple of videos premiering tomorrow. I got Why the Rock Should Not Win the Royal Rumble premiering at 12 noon tomorrow. And then I have my Royal Rumble predictions video that will be dropping at 5 p.m. tomorrow afternoon. So keep looking at that. Make sure you guys go support our guy, Raphael Chassin. He's going to be doing his watch party for WWE Royal Rumble. And you can catch myself, Mac the Giants fan, Mitch Kofsky, Next Shift Randy, Tyler from Philly Sports Talk Podcast, Platform. You can check all of us. We're all going to be doing a WWE Royal Rumble. And Earl Cole, we're going to be doing a WWE Royal Rumble watch party, so keep on the lookout. I will not be doing the football games on Sunday. It is going to be my birthday that day, so I'm going to be enjoying my festivities that day on Sunday. So I will not be doing the live stream games for that day. I'm just going to be enjoying some family time.
I don't know about the second one.
Just want to say thank you all sincerely for another episode of the New York Giants Football Friday talk and a little bit of wrestling and basketball talk here or there. Everybody enjoy the rest of your football, wrestling. Enjoy your Friday overall. Take it easy. And as always, as we always close out these football streams, let's go New York Football Giants. Together blue, everyone.